riddance to the Chicago Cubs, who took 2 of 3 from the homestanding Astros. Oh no, now it's the Cardinals again, who have beaten Houston 7 of 9 times this year. Today, Roy Oswalt and the Astros hope to burst the Cardinals' bubble. It's a cool Memorial Day matinee here on Fox Sports Net. Live from Astros Field in downtown Houston, Fox Sports Net brings you the opener of a 3-game series between the Houston Astros and the St. Louis Cardinals. Welcome everybody. Bill Brown and Jim Deshaies on this Memorial Day, and some have said over the years that this is the beginning of the pennant races. If so, the Astros probably feel a little bit like they're on the 4th row of the Indianapolis 500, JD.
Yeah, they've got to make up some ground. Hopefully they can gain a little momentum after that dramatic come-from-behind win last evening.
And maybe that'll carry over, but today's pitcher, Darryl Kyle, has made it difficult to do that against him, and so has Roy Oswalt.
Yeah, 2 very talented right-handers. Oswalt 5-2. That 2.22 ERA, second best in the National League. Kyle will be making his 4th start against the Astros this year on the season. He's 2-3 with an ERA just a touch below 4.
Cardinals have won 7 of the 9 from the Astros. A patriotic day coming up here at Astros Field. Old glory unfurled, and baseball is just around the corner. Houston Astros baseball game on Fox Sports Net is being brought to you by Bud Light, by your Texas Ford dealers, by Jack in the Box, by Pennzoil, by Southwestern Bell, by Gatorade, and by Southwest Airlines. Well, it's a steamy one outside, so the roof is closed and everybody inside very cool for the Cardinals and the Astros opener of the 3-game series. And we'll check the starting lineup now for Tony La Russa's high-flying Redbirds, brought to you by Southwest Airlines. They've won 14 of 17. Fernando Vina is their leadoff man at second baseman. Placido Polanco plays third base and bats second. Then it's Albert Pujols in left field, Jim Edmonds in center. Tino Martinez is the first baseman, the number 5 hitter. Edgar Renteria missed the series in St. Louis last week. He's back after that short-term injury, and a shortstop is hitting well this season. Eli Marrero gets a start in right field. J.D. Drew came out of the game yesterday with a stiff neck. Mike Matheny is the catcher, and Darryl Kyle will be the pitcher for St. Louis against Roy Oswalt for Houston, J.D.
There's a scouting report on Rapid, Roy. Above average across the board. All of his pitches are better than average. Very aggressive right-hander. Throws a lot of strikes. Keeps the ball in the yard. He's only allowed 2 home runs this year.
Around the horn for the Astros, they have made 25 errors this year, and generally their fielding has been steady. At first base, it's Jeff Bagwell. Second base, Greg Biggio. Morgan Ensberg plays third. Shortstop is Julio Lugo. It's Darrell Ward in left field. Center fielder is Lance Berkman. Strong arm Richard Hidalgo plays right. Brad Ausmus, with his throwing improving, has thrown out 27% of the base runners trying to steal. And Roy Oswalt is among the best pitchers in Major League Baseball. His ERA the second best in the National League right now. Those are the numbers on him, J.D.
Yeah, 10 starts, 69 innings, so he stays in games. League batting just .245 against him. There are the numbers: 63 hits, as I mentioned, just 2 home runs and 16 walks in 69 innings, while punching out 61. Glittering numbers.
There's the home plate umpire, Jerry Meals. He's joined on this crew by Mike Riley at first, Mark Barron at second, and Jeff Kellogg at third. Cardinals have won 7 of the 9 games between the two. They swept the Astros in a 3-game series in St. Louis. And these two teams will not meet again until September after this 3-game series. So the Astros have a shot at cutting into the Cardinals' 5.5-game lead over them. St. Louis trails Cincinnati by 1. And Houston is 6.5 back as the day begins. Fernando Vina has put together a pretty good first start to the season. A .299 average, 1 homer and 24 runs batted in to just about the 1/3 pole of the year. 50 games so far. And there's strike 1 for Vina. 2 hits away from 1,000 for his career. He's had a good season against the Astros in the first 9 games. A .333 average with 6 runs batted in. Ensberg is in tight at third. Bagwell pitches in at first. He's jammed on this one. A little pop-up. Biggio out into shallow center and unable to make that grab. Vina is on with a pop fly hit.
Remember in St. Louis last week, we said that Vina was annoying to a pitcher. No more annoying hit than this. You just bust a fastball right in on his thumbs, and he ekes one out over your second baseman by about an inch and a half. Good effort.
Just made it into the outfield past Biggio's outstretched glove. Vina on. He has 9 steals. And Placido Polanco follows, a .245 hitter with 1 homer and 11 runs batted in. Good number 2 hitter. Usually puts the ball in play. The Astros shorten up for a double play. Oswalt makes the throw to first. Cardinals have done a lot of running against Houston this year with 14 steals in 18 tries in the 9 games.
So you would suspect in this game, this confrontation with Oswalt, that they'd be aggressive, try to force the issue a little bit. A tough guy to sit back and think you're going to string a bunch of hits together against.
A strike 1 to Polanco. Polanco at third base for this game. And the trial was to move him to the outfield as the Cardinals went to spring training, but Albert Pujols went to his manager, according to the story, and said he thought Placido would be more comfortable at third. That moved Pujols back to the outfield, but Pujols was playing some third base a few days ago against the Astros. 0-2, and that's one thing that Tony La Russa has, a very flexible ball club with players who can play multiple positions, JD.
Yeah, this guy Polanco can play all over the place. Marrero is rare in that he can play a lot of different places, and among them catch. And you talk about Pujols. We've seen him in left, third, and first base.
Pujols is on deck right now. Oswalt holds the ball a long time, then he steps off. Roy has not had a decision in his career against the St. Louis Cardinals. He certainly pitched well against them, but has not had run support this season, and this is the 3rd time he's been matched with Darryl Kyle. 98 pitches Wednesday in St. Louis. He left with a 2-1 lead. And he was throwing the ball 95 miles per hour when he left that game. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Polanco. It's been a rough ride for the Astros in the games with St. Louis, especially this season. Cardinals winning some close games against Houston, winning them late. Astros have lost 6 of 7, but they rallied with a thrilling win last night. Runner goes, ground ball to third, Vina to second, and there's out number 1. Polanco grounding out. Well, the Astros really rescued one last night, trailing 5-0 after 6.5 innings. They got 3 in the 7th and 4 in the 8th to beat the Cubs 7-5. So Jimmy Williams' club did a lot of hitting under the gun late in that game, JD.
Well, yeah, under the gun in that game and in the series, having lost the previous 2 games of the Cubs. You hate to get swept in your own ballpark. And when it appeared they were down and out, they managed to rally. It reminded me of that game in New York last year when they had all those solo home runs late to beat the Mets.
Albert Pujols checks in with good numbers to start the year. He's in the number 3 spot in the order now. Tony La Russa made this move about 2.5–3 weeks ago. He bumped up J.D. Drew from 3rd to 2nd. Pujols moving up to 3rd. Edmonds to 4th in the order. Albert at 287 has 9 homers, 28 runs batted in. That has really sparked his club offensively, moving those hitters up in the lineup. 1 ball, no strikes. Cardinals have had an outstanding record since they made that move. Redbirds have won 14 of their last 17. Oswalt hits the strike zone near the knees. It's 1-1. Their 14-3 record since May 8th is the best in the majors. And for the month of May, the Redbirds are 16-8. No National League team has won more than 16 this month. Fly ball to right. Hidalgo waiting. And Vina has to hold on out number 2. Cardinals won 2 of 3 on their first visit to Houston, the first weekend of the season. Jim Edmonds has been torrid. Just about every time he faces the Astros, he's at his best. .335 overall. He's at his best against a lot of teams this season. With a dozen homers, he's driven in 35. Edmonds went 4 for 9 in the last 2 games of the Pittsburgh series. 438-foot homer for him yesterday into the Allegheny River as the Cardinals won that game. He takes strike 1. Oswalt has been outstanding against left-hand hitters. A .227 batting average against him by the southpaw hitters, with only one homer in 110 at bats. Edmonds has 6 long balls against the Astros alone this year. Nobody's hit more against any one team so far in the major leagues. Little dribbler. Oswalt comes over. And a flip to Bagwell takes care of the Cardinal first inning. No runs, a hit, a runner stranded. Cardinals nothing, Astros due up. Survived a leadoff single by Vina. He posted a 0. Now we check the starting lineup for the Astros, brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Against Darryl Kyle, Jimmy Williams goes with Julio Lugo at shortstop, Craig Biggio at second base, Lance Berkman batting third in center field. Jeff Bagwell, the cleanup man, is at first base with Darrell Ward on a 7-game hitting streak in left field. Richard Hidalgo plays right. Morgan Ensberg is at third base. Brad Ausmus does the catching for Roy Oswalt. And it's former Astro Darryl Kyle on the mound, JD.
10th start of the year for Kyle, 4th time against the Astros. This is what he features, a good over-the-top curveball, perhaps his best, and pretty hard thrower as well. Really competes well, and you always have to be aware of that sidearm Laredo delivery that he features. Club has not scored much for DK this year. That's why he's only 2-3.
Run support on average 3.1 runs per game. Julio Lugo has put together a fantastic surge at the plate. There's the big knee buckling curveball for strike one. What a way to start a game, JD.
Look at Julio. He'd much rather hit the gas than have to deal with that hook.
.313 hitter with a .384 on base average. He gets another one, and it's wide. 1 ball, 1 strike. Julio is leading all major league shortstops in batting average in the month of May at .342. Upstairs with a fastball, 2-1. DK saying a few days ago in St. Louis his curveball has not been reliable for him this season, but he sure snapped off a yacker to open this one. Lugo's hit him well. 8 for 19, including a homer 5 days ago when they met in St. Louis. Lugo also had another hit in that game. Kyle misses, and it's 3 balls and a strike. The way the home plate umpire turned his head a little bit, Jerry Meals, it looked like maybe a call was coming. DK at 2-3 with a 3.98 ERA. Fastball makes it 3-2 for Darryl Kyle. He's won 130 games in his major league career. Got a no decision when he and Roy squared off Wednesday night. The Cardinals won the game 3-2 late. He gave up 6 hits and 2 runs in 6 innings, allowed the homer to Lugo. 99 pitches, 60 were strikes for Darryl in that game. Goes out of play, and he's been kind of a tough luck pitcher against the Astros in his career, with a 2-4 record despite a respectable ERA of 3.84. This is his 11th career start against his former club. Darryl, 32 years old. He won 16 and lost 11 last year. Lugo fouls it away.
Talking to Darryl in St. Louis, he said he's not quite 100% after the surgery that he had in the offseason. He said, you know, I'll go out there one start and we'll feel really good, but the ability to put it together start to start has eluded him to this point.
It's his 3rd matchup with Oswalt this season, and neither one has had a decision in either of the games. Hot shot on through the left side, and Lugo opens with a single. Well, he's had 4 straight 2-hit games and a pretty good start on number 5 now for Julio, who sat out the game last night. Jose Vizcaino playing a role at shortstop.
Fastball drifting down and in. Lugo gets the head out and bangs it through the hole.
Lugo took the aggressive turn. Pujols made the play in left field. Lugo has 5 stolen bases in 7 attempts. The infielders move in. Renteria and Vina toward the bag with Biggio batting. They pinch in for a double play, and third baseman Polanco is in very tight. Biggio at 246 has 5 homers, 21 runs batted in. He had a tremendous game last night. 4 runs batted in for Craig, and they all came in the 7th and 8th innings. Ball 1. His hit, the 2-run single in the 8th inning, broke the tie and sent the Astros on to a 7-5 win over the Cubs after they trailed 5-0. Vizcaino on the bench today, also was quite a factor in that game. He had 2 RBI hits in the 7th and 8th and scored 2 runs in those innings. Lance Berkman's on deck. Biggio has good career numbers against Darryl Kyle. 8 hits and 24 at bats, 2 of them homers. Throw goes to first. Lugo diving back. The Astros have 4 steals in 7 tries in the 9 games with St. Louis. Biggio, the all-time Houston leader in games played, needs 1 more now for 2,000 for his career. Showing bunt that time. Here's the throw to first. Lugo diving back in ahead of Matheny's throw. 2-0 the count.
Have to be careful with Matheny. He's very quick. Lugo, big secondary lead. He's looking for the bunt. No contact, has to scramble back.
Now the Astros have some options with this count of 2 balls, no strikes. This is Kyle's 4th appearance against Houston this season. 2 of them against Oswalt. Biggio takes, and it's ball 3.
Similar to the at-bat with Lugo, Kyle not missing by much, but just not able to lock in on those corners. He's trying to crowd Bidge, which is somewhat surprising because Craig handles the inside fastball pretty well.
Players wearing the American flag on the side of their caps today. The bases are adorned with patriotic logos. Biggio takes a strike. It's 3-1. Special bases in use throughout the major leagues for this Memorial Day game, with the red, white, and blue insignias there. And there they are on the caps as well, and also the on-deck circles. You see the Major League Baseball logo there and the American flag. And also the on-deck circles of both clubs are in red, white, and blue over the team logos. Biggio looks at it. It's strike 2, and now Lugo at first base. A full count to Biggio. We'll see what Jimmy Williams does. Bidge has 4 multi-hit games in his last 11, hitting .350 during that stretch. Been working long and hard on his hitting, first with the leg kick, and now more recently with his hands. Feels that his hands were the problem. Now that he's experienced with a little bit quicker leg kick, he's gone back to the higher leg action, but his hands have provided more of the key for him in recent games. Cardinals have been outscored in the first inning of their games, 48-21. Fly ball left field. Pujols coming over near the line, and he handles out number 1. Lugo back to first, and it's Lance Berkman to follow. Cubs won 2 of the 3 with the Astros in the previous series, and Berkman in that series was 1 for 11. Lance 3rd in the majors with homers with 15, has 44 runs batted in. He's tied for 2nd in the National League in RBIs with a .270 batting average.
Cardinals put a pretty drastic shift on with Berkman batting. Renteria well over on the second base side. There's a peek. 3 guys on the right side of the infield.
Jeff Bagwell's on deck. Ball 1 from Darryl Kyle. Cardinals have done a nice job on Berkman this season. Lance is hitting .133 against St. Louis pitching. Tony La Russa has stacked his pitching rotation so that he has had his best hurlers going against the Astros this year, and it began with the first weekend of the season with Matt Morris and Darryl Kyle. Woody Williams pitching in that 3-game series. Runner goes, popped up, foul. Polanco over into foul territory, running out of room, will not get a play on it. 1-1 the count. Astros have had very good crowds for the first 3 games of this homestand. Game 2 of the series tomorrow night at 7:05. We'll find Shane Reynolds and Matt Morris in a rematch of their game a few days ago at St. Louis. And then Wednesday night a 6:05 start as Wade Miller returns to the Houston rotation off an injury against Garrett Stevenson. Throw goes to first on Lugo. Cardinals have had a tremendous record within the division. 21 wins and 11 losses against the clubs in the National League Central. Berkman rolls over on a curveball, hits it off his leg, and it winds up with Tino Martinez. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Lance, who's walking that one off. Al Raboski, who's working television for the Cardinals, said that Darryl Kyle, after his surgery on the right shoulder in November, has much better range of motion now, but it has caused him an unusual dilemma in the fact that he has been searching for his arm slot on the curveball. He can't find that consistent arm slot. So in effect, at least short term, it may not be helping him to have increased range of motion in that shoulder.
That's interesting.
Yeah. Swing and a miss. Here's a throw to first base. Lugo is out, and Berkman struck out. So it's a double play from 2 to 3. And in the first for Houston, no runs, a hit, nobody left. It's 0-0 after 1. It's 0, Houston 0 after 1. Go into Subway and vote for your favorite Major League Baseball players for this year's All-Star Game. Subway, eat fresh. And the fans are actually going to determine the final couple of players for the All-Star Game this year. It's going to be interesting.
Is that an expanded roster, or just are going to hold back?
I think it's like the final spot on each team, or the final 2 spots on each team, will be selected from 5 candidates. There's ball 1, and they'll be selected online by the fans in the final 2 or 3 days after the teams are announced. There'll be 1 or 2 spots on each club held back for the fans to determine from a list of 5. Tino Martinez looks at it. It's 1 ball, 1 strike to Tino, a .226 hitter with 5 homers, 26 runs batted in. Recently, his bat has come alive for St. Louis after a rough start in April. Broken bat looper, Biggio back, the barrel of the bat out in that dirt portion between first and second, and it's out number 1. Now Arlo's improving, home improvement player, and it's Tino Martinez. There's the improvement, JD.
What's he done?
17 RBIs in May and 5 homers.
Much better in May than in April. Much better. It's not Sean Green like, but it's pretty darn good.
Oh, Sean Green's in another world, isn't he?
Well, that Player of the Week voting will be really hotly contested. Let me see. This guy had 9 home runs this week.
Yeah, that'll be like the voting for FDR's second term, probably. Edgar Renteria, with strike 1, has put together a 7-game hitting streak, 308 during those 7 games, 280 for the season, 2 homers, 23 runs batted in. A very good year so far for this shortstop from Columbia, who missed the 3-game series in St. Louis with the Astros. Abdominal strain. No balls, 2 strikes, but Cardinals were not hurting because they have Polanco, who can move over and play short. Oswalt throws, and it's ball 1. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Roy, an excellent 19-5 in his major league career with a 2.56 earned run average.
11-2 in this ballpark with a .226.
Only one pitcher who's active got off to a better start for his first 24 decisions as a major leaguer. Tim Hudson of Oakland was 20-4. Lifted up the right field line. Bagwell and Biggio over in the foul ground. It goes to about the 4th row, and there's an early souvenir. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Oswalt has been so very consistent this year. He's got at least 6 innings in all 10 of his starts. Walking only 16 and fanning 61 along the way. He's allowed just 2 home runs. None in his last 57 innings now. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Greg Lucas said that that gang of Oswalt followers would be here in the ballpark again today, hanging O's for each strikeout.
Those are the O's Bros.
The O's Bros.
Oh, I wasn't familiar with the O's Bros.
We just found out about them. Greg found out online, didn't you, Greg?
Really?
Oh yeah, they organized through Astros.com, as a matter of fact, and they should be here somewhere. We'll look for him as he picks up some strikeouts.
Well, we caught them in his last start. Usually does, doesn't he? There's a shot on the ground. Biggio gets in front of it. 2 outs. Renteria really trying to reach out and hit that ball, and he couldn't get much on it. On a good fastball away at 95 miles per hour. Should get him some O's by the end of the night. Eli Marrero is playing right field. We mentioned J.D. Drew came out of the game yesterday, so Marrero gets the start today. A .269 hitter with 2 homers, 17 runs batted in, with a .350 on base average, and he has absolutely ripped Houston pitching this season to the tune of .481. Strike 1 to Marrero. Oswalt and Kyle matched up on Wednesday night. Marrero played that game as well.
Man, look at paint.
0-2. Right-handed hitters actually are hitting .259 compared to .227 for left-hand hitters against Roy. Now that's the thing that strikes you about him, JD. His command, ability to hit corners with that change of speeds and high velocity on the fastball.
All the attributes of a big-time winner.
And a strikeout is his first. Somewhere they're hanging an O. And Roy has hung 2 so far. It's 0-0. What came to the major leagues last year and started doing so well. Finally started calling him the Wizard of O's. And Greg, you have an update on that.
Well, we've got the fans. Of course, you saw them out there in right field. They have really organized. They really are supporting Roy. We also got a note today, and by the way, the website's open. Our email address, foxsports.com, keyword Astros booth, and we'll talk to you. Juanita Clifford, an 80-year-old fan in Seminole, Oklahoma, is watching. Big Astro fan. Want to say hi to her. Back to you guys.
Hi, Juanita. There's strike 1 as Darryl Kyle says hi to Jeff Bagwell, his old buddy, with a big curveball over the top. A .264 average for Jeff, 9 homers, 26 runs batted in. It's Jeff's birthday.
Oh, man, you got to go deep on your birthday. Or at least get a knock or 2.
No balls, 2 strikes.
That, however, is not a prediction. I want to go on the record as saying that it's not a prediction.
No. But we'll give you credit for putting yourself out there with your predictions this year. 34 years old today, Jeff Bagwell, who shares that birthday with White Sox slugger Frank Thomas. And ironically, they've hit the same number of homers in their careers, 358. But a strikeout this time for DK. That's number 2. Fastball was clocked at 90.
Because of the big slow curveball, that 90-mile-an-hour fastball is oftentimes has greater effect. Jeff just pulling off that pitch.
Darrell Ward, during his 7-game hitting streak, has hit .407.
And Cardinals will put the shift down for DW as well.
.329, 2 homers, 18 runs batted in for Darrell. He had 2 hits last night, scored a run in the 8th inning. Kyle pounds inside, and it's no balls, 2 strikes to Darrell. Darrell's hit well against St. Louis pitching this year, .324. Richard Hidalgo's on deck. The Astros have won 9 of their last 12 here at Astros Field. They're 14-11 at home. Fly ball, and he was ready for that inside offering. Out in front of it, in fact. Still 0-2 as they head for that souvenir.
Ball down and in, a little easier to get to for most guys than the pitch up and in. This pitch is down a little bit. Off the plate inside, but 2 strikes in the count. Darrell feels like he has to protect, especially given the fact that the previous fastball in was called a strike.
1 ball and 2 strikes.
Fun to watch these 2 pitchers work. You've got intelligent catchers behind the plate and pitchers who can hit spots, so you really get a sense of what they're trying to accomplish.
Curveball, and that's blocked by Matheny. Checked his swing. Jeff Kellogg with a call. 2-2. The first time they met in St. Louis, April 13th. No decision for Kyle. No decision for Oswalt. Cardinals won it 2-1. Darrell gave up 1 hit, 1 run in 6 innings in that game. He left with the score tied at 1. Then 5 days ago, a 3-2 win for the Cardinals. No decision for either one again. A strikeout here makes it 3 in a row for DK.
Not a great location, but the first changeup that Ward saw from Kyle, and he was well out in front of him. Take a look. Off-speed pitch stays up, but Ward swings through it out in front. So location isn't everything.
No, it's not.
Sometimes timing is important.
.247 Richard Hidalgo's batting average. 8 homers, 26 runs batted in. He's 0 for his last 10. Morgan Ensberg's on deck. Fly ball. A hit into left center field. Let's see how far. Hidalgo heads for second. A double for Richard. Hit number 2 for the Astros. That's his 7th two-base hit of the year.
Attaboy, Richard. Go up there hacking. First pitch fastball. Puts a real good swing on it.
Right out to the Cardinal bullpen, fielded by Jim Edmonds, and the Astros have a man in scoring position with 2 outs for Morgan Ensberg. Ensberg was 0 for 6 in the Cubs series. He's 0 for his last 11.
I guess that would explain the change in approach with the facial hair. He had the full beard going for a while.
Yeah.
A couple loafers, you trim away a little bit of the beard. 0 for today. He'll come back with a mustache tomorrow. Get rid of the goatee.
17 RBIs, second among National League rookies. And it's 1 ball, 1 strike. Richard just snapped an offer. Morgan would love to follow suit right here. Give the Astros the lead against this tough St. Louis club, which has really had a nice run here in May. 2 teams will not meet again until September, so the Astros will be trying to make up ground from afar after this 3-game set. Ground ball to shortstop. Renteria makes it out, number 3. No runs, a hit, a man stranded. After 2, it's 0-0. Game as usual when Kyle and Oswalt get together. Now our Texas lottery game stats showing you the Astros have a 2.97 ERA in day games this season. That leads the National League.
Got some great day game pitchers.
The Wizard of Oz continues to do exactly what he's done since breaking into the National League last year. He's been a tremendous pitcher, and his record following a Houston loss is 8-1 last year and this year, with some no decisions thrown in. Mike Matheny, the number 8 hitter, leads it off here in the 3rd inning. Excellent defensive catcher, hitting .258 with 3 homers and a dozen runs batted in. Mike DeFelice and Marrero, the other 2 catchers on this club. Popped up. Biggio coming in from second base. 1 pitch, 1 out for Roy. And with Roy throwing 98 pitches, 62 of them strikes. His last time out against the Cardinals, he went deep into that ball game, had a 2-1 lead after 7 innings. He had allowed 5 hits and 1 run. In his start against Darryl Kyle here in mid-April, he went 6 innings, allowing 1 earned run. Kyle has 1 hit in 16 at-bats. There is strike 1 at the knees. Darryl has 2 career homers and 40 runs batted in. Workman over in right center. No balls and 2 strikes. That's a slider for Roy. Now he shook twice and then he nodded twice, JD. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Well, I think he shook to a different pitch, and then perhaps Brad said, let's make sure we get it away, or give him a location with it. A lot of times pitchers don't care to get, or catchers won't give location on a breaking ball. You just get location on a fastball. But sometimes the catcher wants to make a point, 0-2 curveball, let's make sure we get it down and away.
You got that one in a spot for strike 3. Second strikeout. Now we'll check our National League Central standings, brought to you by Jack in the Box. They hang another 0 for Roy. And we take a look at the Cardinals. Best major league record since May 8th, 14-3, an .824 percentage. Rockies have picked it up at 13-5. 2 outs. Fernando Vina bats. Vina with a pop fly single to center field was almost retired by Craig Biggio, leading off the game. Now he shows bunt, and it's ball 1. He is an outstanding bunter. Ensberg moving in on the grass at third. Normally, Fernando says, when he bunts for a hit, it's to the first base side of the mound, unless it's in a non-bunting situation and the third baseman is playing him back deeper. 1 ball, 1 strike. For a left-hand batter, that gives him a little bit of an advantage if he can drag the ball, be on his way to first, and take the ball with him, get it past the pitcher, and it becomes a race. Fouls it away, and it's 1 ball and 2 strikes. Vina had a 5 RBI day yesterday, hit his second career grand slam. Leads his club in hits with 62 and in doubles with 15. With the hit in the first inning today, he's hit safely in 20 of his last 24 games. Ensberg is backed up with 2 strikes in the count. That one goes foul.
That's what he does so well right there. Make contact on pitches that others would not. That curveball was headed towards the dirt. He's a very aggressive swinger, and he doesn't walk a whole lot because of it, but he does have the ability to get base hits on pitches out of the strike zone.
Yeah, you're right. That swing might not make anybody's highlight reel, but if he gets a base hit next, it'll be that swing that kept him in this at bat. And he whacks one. Biggio there to field the line drive. It's a 1-2-3 third, and that's 9 straight outs for Roy Oswalt, who's not budging. It's 0-0. On a Memorial Day weekend, everybody festive, having a wonderful time here at Astros Field, and it is a 0-0 ball game. Flags galore. Nice day to be inside today. It's rather steamy in downtown Houston. It's a 0-0 game. Darryl Kyle works to Brad Ausmus, who had a 3-hit ball game last night for the first time this season. Scored the tying run, and the Astros come from behind win against the Cubs. A .240 average for Brad to start the day. 2 homers and 10 runs banded in. He had hits his last 3 times up. There's ball 1 to him. Roy Oswalt on deck. Julio Lugo due up third. Brad's hit safely in 7 of his last 9 starts now. 1 ball, 1 strike. Darryl Kyle, even though he has not had a decision against Houston this year, has an ERA of 2.65 in his 3 starts. Two balls and a strike. The Cardinals have been getting it done with the bullpen. They lead the National League in relief wins with 13. Dave Duncan, the pitching coach, has seen 11 different starting pitchers go to the mound for his club. Now back 2-2.
That's what scares you about this if you're competing against them, because they were banged up and they've had to use a lot of different starting pitchers, but they weathered the storm so well, and now they're playing the best baseball in the league.
The ERA for the starting pitchers is next to last at 4.88, but the relievers have really picked it up. Fly ball. Edmonds back in center. There's 1 out. Just a walk in the park for these 2 hurlers so far today. Roy Oswalt will try to stir things up for Darryl. He has 2 hits and 23 at bats, and 3 runs batted in for Roy.
Kevin Brown went on the DL for the Dodgers. That elbow bothering him again. Had to come out of the ball game early yesterday.
And along about now, Omar Dahl will understand why he wasn't traded.
That's right.
Because he'll probably go into that spot in the rotation. Oswalt looks at strike 1. Dahl has been pitching out of the bullpen. He pitched yesterday. Probably will just slide right into that position for manager Jim Tracy. He's having quite a year. Oswalt with a chop to shortstop. Renteria Takes extra time. 2 outs.
Astro fans, be sure to note that Wednesday's game with the Redbirds is scheduled for a 6:05 start. Tickets, stop by the Astros Field box office. Call 1-877-9-ASTROS. Visit Houston area Sears hardware stores, Oshman Supersports USA, or log on to Astros.com.
You guys got the idea. Wade Miller and Garrett Stevenson Wednesday night at 6:05. Wade comes off the disabled list. He's had 2 rehab starts. Dave Malicki will be placed on the disabled list on Wednesday. Julio Lugo singled to left in the first inning. He was picked off by the catcher Mike Matheny. Strike 1 on the big hook. When the Cardinals swept the Astros in St. Louis last week, it was their first 3-game sweep over Houston since the '96 season. There's that Laredo delivery. This Pile dropped down sidearm. No balls, 2 strikes.
Lugo's base hit in the first inning came on a fastball on a 3-2 count after he had flinched a couple times on curveballs. So I'd be surprised if DK throws him a fastball over the plate in this confrontation.
Now, Lugo's been a torrid hitter in May. He's hit safely now in 17 of his 21 games, including this one. He goes to right field this time, and Lugo's 2 for 2. He picked on a hanging curveball.
Yep, I hate to leave an 0-2 breaking ball, 2-strike breaking ball in the strike zone. This is not by design. He just didn't get it where he wanted to. If you saw Matheny prior to the pitch, called for the pitch and then put the mitt down in the dirt. So let's go ahead and try to bounce this one, see if we can get him to chase.
Craig Biggio hit a fly ball to left after working the count full in the first inning. Tom Glavine won another one for Atlanta, 5-1 over Montreal. Glavine goes to 8-2. Tony Armas Jr., the loser, is 5-5. Jose Vidro now has a 21-game hitting streak. He hit a solo homer off Glavine in the 9th, his 5th home run of the year. What a tremendous year for him. He's now leading the league in hitting.
It's back-to-back complete games for Glavine over the Expos, I believe.
What, 10 complete games in his career against Montreal?
Yeah, he's beaten them 21 or 22 times.
Vidro came into the day hitting .348, 1 point ahead of Barry Bonds for the league lead. No balls and a strike to Biggio with Berkman on deck. Craig calls time. Well, that's quite a race in the NL East. Philadelphia Phillies have dropped to the bottom in that division. But New York, Atlanta, Montreal, and Florida were all within 2 games of each other as the day began.
Fish beat the Mets 5-3. Stole 7 bases in the ball game.
Wow. Ryan Dempster the winner. Al Leiter lost it. Biggio pumps one foul for Souvenir, and it's no balls, 2 strikes. Dempster now 3-5, Leiter 5-4, and Vladimir Nunez got save number 12. Mo Vaughn hit his 4th home run for the losing Mets. So Atlanta now in a virtual tie for first place with the Mets. But not with glittering winning percentages compared to the expectations for those 2 clubs this year. Biggio puts one out toward Jim Edmonds in right center, and that will drop in for a hit. Lugo to third on the 0-2 pitch. Lugo connected, and Biggio connects for back-to-back hits on 0-2 counts.
Lugo hit a curveball, a hanging curveball. This time it's a fastball. He tries to crowd Craig with it, and he does, but just fights it off. A little soft flare base hit in front of Marrero, who's a speedy guy, but he doesn't get real good jumps out there.
First and third, 2 outs for Lance Berkman. He struck out in the first inning. Jeff Bagwell on deck. The infield shift is being used again. Renteria over on the first base side of second. Chapman fouls it. There's strike one.
The tough at bat here for Kyle. Tough confrontation in that twice he's been within a pitch of getting out of the inning. Now he's got runners on first and third and Lance Berkman in the batter's box. You have to have the ability to kind of mentally turn the page, because there's a tendency to want to get mad at yourself and get a little emotional on the hill, and you can't afford to make mistakes because you're angry.
Big curve makes it 0-2 here.
He's probably wishing he wasn't 0-2.
Yeah. The way things have gone with Lugo and Biggio in this inning.
It'd be interesting to see where this pitch is. I'd be tempted to throw it about 9 feet high just to make sure I didn't give up a hit here.
San Francisco got 3 in the second to take a 3-1 lead over Arizona after 2. Ryan Anderson against Livan Hernandez. Reggie Sanders at number 6. There's the strikeout, and Matheny completes it with a throw to Tino Martinez. Strikeout number 4 for Darryl Kyle. No runs, 2 hits, 2 left for the Astros. After 3, it's 0-0.
Top of the fourth, no score here at Astros Field. Coming up tonight on the Southwest Sports Report. See highlights from the Comets game. They play the defending champion LA Sparks. Highlights from the Lone Star Million. Bob McNair's horse is running in that one. Rangers Twins highlights. All that's coming your way on the show that was voted the best sportscast in Texas, the Southwest Sports Report, immediately after our game. Well, later on tonight on Fox Sports Net.
Placido Polanco grounded to third in the first inning. It's a 0-0 game as he takes it. It's strike one leading off the fourth. 9 straight retired by Oswalt after the leadoff single by Fernando Vina. Polanco will be followed by Pujols and Edmonds as the 2-3-4 hitters bat in the Cardinal fourth. 1 ball and 1 strike. Tom Glavine, the league leader in ERA, won his game today. Oswalt is number 2 in the National League to Glavine in earned run average. Fouled away, and it's 1 ball, 2 strikes. There are some terrific ERAs to this point of the season.
You were talking about the All-Star game earlier. It's going to be tough to put together that pitching staff. There's going to be some bruised feelings. Guys left off that club who are deserving.
Don't you know it? Hit by the pitch. Polanco. Well, it's foul ball. Or is it? Let's see. Polanco says he was hit by the pitch. And Jerry Meals wants to see it. He's indicating that he was not hit by the pitch. So it's foul ball, and Tony La Russa comes out. See if we can see it here, JD.
Looks like he got the knob of the bat. Perhaps on deflection it may have gotten his hand a little bit.
Well, it's worth a try when you're down in the count. Sure. 1-2.
Absolutely.
Polanco hit .307 last year. Ooh. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Good player.
That's just great pitching. You know, you bust one in on the guy's hands. He's not going to be inclined to dive out and try to hit that pitch over the outside corner.
He shoots it up the middle. Biggio diving, can't get it. Solid single for Polanco. A string of 9 straight outs is interrupted. Polanco leading it off with a hit, and here it is.
Just beyond the reach of Craig. That has been the case with both of the Cardinals hits this afternoon. The flare by Vina. Now this solid single off the bat of Polanco.
Unanimous Rookie of the Year last year in the National League. Albert Pujols hit .329. He had 37 homers, 130 runs batted in. Hit a fly ball to right in the first inning. Osmus back near the screen. Handles it, and it's 1 out.
Oswalt has the ability to pitch deep into so many games because he strikes first. He gets ahead of so many hitters, so there's no percentage for the hitters to go up there trying to get themselves in a favorable count. If they do that, they're going to look up and they're going to be 0-2 all the time. So a lot of guys will hack early against Roy, and they'll get a lot of quick outs because of it.
Jim Edmonds rolled to the pitcher first time up. Edmonds carried a .371 career average against the Astros into this game today. Strike one on high heat.
That's the 10th batter now of 13 that have come to bat that Roy has started with strike one.
Edmonds has a career .773 slugging percentage in the games against the Astros. He's averaging a home run every 9.4 at bats against Houston.
Would you make him public enemy #1 if you're an Astros fan?
Yeah, I think you'd have
I'm trying to think of the other guys that do inordinate amount of damage against our club. This guy sticks out.
Well, Piazza, of course. You find generally the top players in the league as far as hitters are some of the top performers against the Astros, but there are some like Eli Marrero who rise far above their normal performances when they play Houston. Not that that's unusual. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Every club has somebody who performs much better against it than against the other teams in the league, but Edmonds is a solid player. He just seems to put himself in another atmosphere entirely when he's playing against the Astros. Biggio can't get it by him and on through into right field. Hidalgo fields it. Polanco to second. Edmonds skips a 1-hopper by the Astros second baseman, and it's first and second and 1 out.
Hit well, but a ball Craig should have had. It looked like he short-armed it a little bit, as if he were trying to position himself to spin and make the throw to second base. And perhaps maybe the ball just had a little top spin. Took an unexpected bounce.
Edmonds keeps the rally going, and Tino Martinez comes up with 2 on and 1 out. He popped a Biggio in the second inning. Solid RBI man over the years for the New York Yankees. Growing into that role now as a Redbird. Grounder goes foul for strike 1. Martinez has brought his batting average up 33 points, even though it's not a glittering batting average. .226 at game time. He's hit in 12 of his last 15 games, .300 over that stretch, and he's driving in runs. He's hit safely in all 7 of his games against the Astros. Make it 8 as he smacks one into right field. Hidalgo comes up and the runners will stop. Accurate throw cut off by Bagwell. He flips to Biggio, but Martinez too wise to get caught rounding the bag too far, and Hidalgo's throw is a good one. So it's bases loaded and 1 out now for Edgar Renteria.
First threat of the ball game for either club. And that'll bring Bert Hooton out of the dugout. You see that fastball misses its spot. Brad wanted it in, drifted back over the middle of the plate. Martinez put a real good swing on it.
Tino was wise to the Astros tactics. Renteria, who grounded out in the second inning, is having a very good season. The thing that might have jumped out at you on the stat sheet with him, JD, is the fact that he has grounded into 10 double plays.
It's the ball on the ground a lot.
34 for the Cardinal Ball Club. Edgar has almost 1/3 of those himself. Now, you're right, that can be a good sign that he's hitting the ball sharply, but just right at somebody. Well, he beat out an infield hit in the 8th inning yesterday to extend his hitting streak to 7 games. Or runs it in on him, and it's ball 1 to Renteria. He had 2 infield hits on Saturday night.
Roy doesn't really sink the ball. He'll get his ground balls by pitching the right-handers in and out. Get him off the fat part of the bat.
One ball, 1 strike to Renteria. Renteria, 26 years old, .326 with man on base. Last year he was a .260 hitter, but 19 points higher for his career. Fly ball to Berkman in center. Polanco preparing to tag at third. And the throw will go toward third base as the Cardinals take a 1-0 lead on a sac fly by Renteria. His 24th run batted in. Cardinals with 3 singles now get a fly ball, and they strike first with Eli Marrero looking for more. Marrero struck out in the second inning. Renteria avoided the ground ball double play there. He got some lift on it. Cardinals and Astros had scored exactly the same number of runs when this game started, 229. And the Astros had actually allowed 6 runs fewer than St. Louis. There's ball 1. Their ERA is not all that far apart. St. Louis 3.96, Houston 4.08. So those numbers would not explain the Cardinals being 5.5 games better than Houston.
Well, the Astros, I don't know about the Cardinals, but the Astros have had a handful of games where they've really exploded. The Cardinals perhaps have been a little bit more consistent scoring runs, and then that outstanding bullpen too has been a big factor. The Cardinals won more games coming from behind than anybody in the league.
19 of them.
And the Astros have won the fewest.
4. 2 balls, no strikes to Marrero. It's 3-0. Oswalt has left 2 games with a lead that have turned into no decisions this year. One of them 2-0 and the other one 2-1 scores. 3 balls and a strike. Shane Reynolds and Matt Morris go tomorrow night. That's a 7:05 start. And at 6:05 Wednesday, it's Wade Miller and Garrett Stevenson. Ground ball on 1 hop. Ensberg will just take it to third base for the force play on Edmonds. In the 4th inning, the Cardinals get the first run home. They do so on 3 hits, and they strand 2. It's 1-0 St. Louis. It's 0 on the sac fly by Edgar Renteria in the top of the 4th. Here's our Aflac trivia question for you prior to Pujols, who was the last Cardinals rookie to make the All-Star team. That's an excellent question.
And after some thought, they're going to give us a hint.
It's not an excellent question if you have no idea what the answer is.
Well,
right.
We're going to whittle away, and we're going to get some hints.
Do you have an idea, Greg?
No, that's what I'm saying. That's why it's not an excellent question.
Okay. It's a terrible question.
It's one that we should have some idea.
We don't,
Well,
and we give up.
We want a hint. It was prior to 1970.
Oh, it's only a 32-year-old question.
Oh, okay.
Good.
Jeff Bagwell struck out first time. This one a base hit past a diving Polanco into the left field corner. A double for Bagwell. His 15th of the year. He turned on that fastball. First pitch hitting. Bagwell gets hit number 5 for Houston.
Fastball in a little bit. Gets on top of it and drives it right down the third baseline. There's a birthday knock for you.
Yeah.
So a Cardinal rookie prior to 1970 making the All-Star team.
34th birthday for Jeff today. He's in scoring position for Darrell Ward. Kyle pointing over toward Polanco, his third baseman, as Ward settles into the box. Darrell struck out in the second inning after a long upper deck foul ball. 3 infielders stacked between first and second base. And it's a high strike call, 0-1.
How about Ted Simmons? Could he be a candidate?
Not sure.
That's kind of the right era, isn't it?
Yeah. Should be right in that time when he was coming up.
After McCarver into Simmons, and that's right about close.
Might have something.
Tommy Herr, maybe?
Her came around later.
One
Yeah.
ball,
If it's
one
prior to
strike.
70.
It was prior to 70.
Of course, now that could be 1947 too.
Well, that's true. 1 ball, 1 strike. Still leaves us with roughly 70 years to cover, something like that. So we're narrowing it down. Give us about 24 innings and we might be able to get close. Foul back.
Steve Carlton.
They were pretty good in those years too. That's right before 70. They were, 68, 67, 69.
Yeah.
They were pretty good.
Mike Shannon here in the ballpark today. Could be a candidate.
Possibly.
I figure it's got to be somebody really good and not a charity case, because the team was pretty good in those days.
Yeah, that's right.
Not that Shannon's a charity case, you know what I'm getting at.
How about
everybody has to have somebody.
Bobby Tolan popped up. Polanco comes over to foul ground. And it's out number one as we check our Aflac trivia answer. Final guess, Bobby Tolan. And the answer really is coming your way very soon. Last Cardinals rookie.
Luis Arroyo in 1955.
Well, that was before 70.
Wow.
Hey, Murph, thanks a lot. That was before 70. You're right.
So,
all right.
Vince Coleman didn't make the All-Star team as a rookie, despite being Rookie of the Year.
Interesting. Richard Hidalgo doubled in the second inning after Darryl Kyle had struck out the first two in that frame. The Astros looking for just one more hit in this inning so they can get Bagwell home. Here's ball one. This has been all too familiar for them this season when they've had their scoring woes. They've come up against good pitching, but they get a guy in scoring position and be unable to drive him in. Bagwell there on the first pitch of the inning. Hidalgo hit a first pitch double in the second inning. He got back-to-back singles in the third. Couldn't get that run home. Fly ball. Edmonds in center. It's a hit in front of him. Bagwell to third. He had to hold for a beat, and he won't be able to score. Well, even though the Astros do get a hit with a man in scoring position, not an RBI. Hidalgo, though, is 2 for 2 in this game.
Again, attacking early as Hidalgo with the fastball up. He just muscles it into shallow center field, and Edmonds plays a very shallow center, so no chance for Bagwell just to assume that this is going to drop in. He had to wait. The irony in this inning is that Darryl Ward popped up after the leadoff double, and Darryl hits the ball on the ground to the right side so often, this time not able to do it.
Now it's first and third with one out for Morgan Ensberg. Ensberg grounded out to shortstop in the second inning. Kyle had first and third, 2 outs in the last inning, and he struck out Berkman to escape that jam. The Astros have stranded 3. Cardinals have left 3 as well. Ball one comes down and in to Morgan Ensberg. Has been working with his hands to get to the ball a little bit quicker, a little bit shorter stroke. That's what he's been emphasizing in batting practice. Cardinals set up for a double play with Renteria and Vigna. Kyle pounds inside again, and it's 2 balls, no strikes. Ensberg's a 100 hitter against St. Louis so far this season. Milwaukee nothing, Los Angeles nothing. Top of the 4th at Dodger Stadium. Hideo Nomo for Los Angeles. Ben Sheets for Milwaukee. Roll to third base and foul.
Boy, did he get away with a hanging curveball right there.
He really did. Looked like Morgan jumped at it.
Just pulled the front side out a little bit too quick.
Cheo Cruz just said something to him at first base. It's hard to weigh back, though, when you're concerned about hitting the fastball, concerned about not hitting a ground ball with a double play situation. 2 balls and a strike. Brad Ausmus on deck. You know Morgan Ensberg has to be taking it on his shoulders to drive in this tying run. First and third and 1 out. Ground ball third. Polanco to second. Vigna turns it. It's no runs, 2 hits, and a man left for the Astros. And after 4, 1-0 St. Louis. 0 as we check our Texas Ford dealers. League leaders in come from behind wins. The Cardinals have 19, Diamondbacks 16. So the Cardinals lead the majors, in fact, not only the National League, in trailing at 1 point and then coming back to win. It might be only a 1-0 deficit, but Tony La Russa's club at one point this season was playing Cincinnati a couple of weeks ago, trailed 8-0, and roared back to win that game 10-8 on May 12th, and that really helped this club get started toward its current record of 28-22. Mike Matheny leads it off in the 5th inning. There's strike one to Matheny. He swung at the first pitch and popped up the second. In the third, the Astros have the lead in hits 6-4. No errors in the game, but the Cardinals got a run on a sac fly by Renteria. Bases loaded, 1 out. Renteria got Polanco home on the fly ball to center. 1 ball, 1 strike. The Astros in a similar situation. First and third, 1 out. Just hitting into a double play. So that's the difference in this game so far. Boy, it's been tight every time Kyle and Oswalt have dueled this year. This is the third. 2 balls and a strike. The Cardinal bullpen always looming as a major factor in a series like this. Major League best ERA of 2.58 with 13 victories. Fouled away. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Probably the biggest difference between the Cardinals this year and last is the addition of Isringhausen out there in the bullpen. They can really slam the door on you in the 9th now. It was a little bit of an issue for St. Louis last season.
Isringhausen has 13 saves. Oswalt runs it in for strike 3. They'll hang another 0, and that's number 3 in the strikeout department for Roy today.
Little low cheddar, doesn't quite hit his spot as it drifts over the middle of the plate, but down around the bottom of the kneecaps.
So the Wizard has 3, and now Darryl Kyle with strike 1. Roy's in the top 10 in strikeouts per 9 innings in the National League. Astros starting pitching has been much better than the Cardinals. The Cardinals relief pitching has been much better than the Astros. Strike call makes it 1-2. Fouled away. Fernando Vina is on deck. In the season series, the Cardinals have a much better ERA against Houston than vice versa. 2.71 for St. Louis, 4.63 for the Astros. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Still, the Cardinals have mastered the close ones. The Astros, though, rallied in the final game of the 3-game series here in April on a Darrell Ward 12th inning homer. They trailed by 3 in the 9th inning in that game, tied it, and then won late. We've had a lot of last inning heroics in this season series. 3-2.
I want to go 3-2. I'm going to narrow that focus.
Struck him out anyway. Number 4 for Roy.
It's the show that's changing the face of sports television. The best sports show period. Tonight, Mavericks owner Mark Cuban drops by to talk NBA playoffs. That ought to be interesting. Plus, comedian Carrot Top checks in to share his unique view of the world of sports. That ought to be very interesting. And find out what the Kings and Lakers were really thinking during the last seconds of yesterday's game. It's the best sports show period. Tonight at 11 here on Fox Sports Net. Where else can you get Cuban and Carrot Top together?
Quite a bit of discussion about that last second shot by Ori after the game. Fernando Vina singled in the first. He lined to second in the 3rd inning. Ground ball. Bagwell, nice pickup for a 1-2-3 fifth for Roy. St. Louis 1, Houston nothing after 4.5. Houston nothing after 4.5 here at Astros Field. Now let's look ahead. Here's what's on tap with the Astros, brought to you by Budweiser. Tomorrow, Matt Morris and Shane Reynolds were on the air with that one with a pregame show at 6:30. The ball game at 7 o'clock. And Wednesday, it's an hour earlier with that start time of 6 o'clock for Garrett Stevenson and Wade Miller. And the Astros move on a 3-city road trip, meeting the Cubs, the Diamondbacks, and the Athletics. So with Shane going tomorrow night against Morris, that's a rematch of their game on Thursday. Shane had the lead when he came out of that ball game. It was 4-2 at one point. Cardinals rallied to win it late, 5-4. Brad Ausmus bats in the 5th inning. Darryl Kyle delivers ball 1 to Brad, who hit the ball in the air to center field in the 3rd inning. Kyle has faced 6 hits through 4, and 2 double plays have helped him. One on a pickoff at first base by the catcher Mike Matheny. 1 ball, 1 strike. Kyle made a very big pitch to get Morgan Ensberg to ground into the 5-4-3 double play in the last inning. Slices it out of play. It's a ball and 2 strikes to Brad. Darryl in his baseball travels, having gone from Houston to Colorado to St. Louis, has experienced different environments for pitching certainly along the way. 2 balls, 2 strikes, but he said a few days ago in St. Louis he does not like that humidor idea in Colorado.
No?
No, he doesn't.
Why not?
He said it ought to be the same baseball no matter where you play. Don't mess with the baseball.
Really?
Yeah. Broken bat, line drive, hit to left field by Ausmus. Pujols over to pick it up, and Brad gets on. He had 3 hits last night, so he might have used that same bat that he just broke, but it's working for him.
Well, he won't use it again.
No.
Kyle gets in on him, but again, the ball's up a little bit. That ball is down. It's probably a ground ball out, but it's up. So he fights it off, gets a knock, chance for Roy to bunt him over. I like the humidor in Colorado.
I do too. I think it evens things up a little bit. Oswalt grounded out in the 3rd inning, but now looking to bunt, as Jim mentioned. He has 2 sacrifices. Whoa, he's hit by the pitch. Kyle says he was bunting at it, and it should be a strike. That's the call he wants from Jerry Meals. And Jimmy Williams and Rex Jones are out to check Oswalt, make sure he's all right.
Tony is going to come out and try to make the same point as Kyle. If the batter is trying to bunt and does not pull the bat back, then it should be a strike. And Jimmy Williams is saying, please don't be hurt, Roy Oswalt. Let's take a look. Yeah, I think he was getting it back there.
Yeah. Ooh, that caught him near the right wrist. Like it hit right on that bone. What is that, the ulna bone?
It's connected to the elbow bone. It's connected to the, I don't know if it's the ulna or the, yeah.
Whatever
I'm not even going to hazard a guess, because if I do, I'll probably throw a leg bone out there or something and show my ignorance. I'll just stay quiet and give myself a fighting chance.
Well, whatever it is, it's got to hurt more than he's letting on, wouldn't you think? Look at that poker face.
Yeah, he's a hard-nosed Mississippian.
He really is. Hit by the pitch. Runners at 1st and 2nd now. Nobody out for Julio Lugo. He gets singled both times, once to left, once to right. Tino Martinez in on the grass. The Cardinals are looking for a bunt. Polanco's in tight at 3rd as well. No bunt there, and it's strike 1.
There's a yacker again. Perhaps now, strike 1, they might put the bunt on. But I tell you, Lugo's been swinging the bat as well as anybody on this club. RBI situation, Jimmy Williams is going to give him a chance to drive it in, perhaps. Oftentimes the thinking is, let's give him 1 strike, see if he gets a triple fastball to swing at, because the pitcher's anticipating bunt. They fall behind on the count. Oftentimes the manager will then go ahead and put the bunt play on.
He fouls it. 0-2.
Hacking all the way.
Another curveball from Kyle. Darryl left Houston, signed as a free agent with the Rockies, then traded to St. Louis along with Dave Veers after the '99 season, and Luther Hackman, Manny Ibar, Jose Jimenez, Rich Croushore, and Brent Butler.
Well, there's no more drastic change in pitching environment than from the Astrodome to Coors Field. I mean, that's just That's as big as it gets. Best pitcher's park in the game to the worst.
Grounder off Kyle's glove. It goes to shortstop. Renteria quickly to Vigna, and safe is a call at first base. That could be big as Lugo beats the wrap on a double play ball.
Could prove to be huge. And perhaps the deflection off of Kyle's glove slowed that ball down just enough to be the difference.
Cardinals hustled. They played it as well as they could have, and we'll see it here.
Kyle just nicks it a little bit, slows it down somewhat, causes Renteria to slam the brakes on, and the double play is short by half a step.
Well, it's a 1-6-4 force play on Oswalt. Runners at first and third again with one out for Craig Biggio. He singled to right in the third. Fly ball to left in the first. Kyle runs it in on him, and it's strike one. Kyle trying to do what he did in the last inning when he got Morgan Ensberg to ground into a 5-4-3 twin killing. Oswalt back on the bench, and his teammates try to deliver the tying run for him here. Edmonds in center has 6 outfield assists this year. 1 ball, 1 strike. The Astros are hitting .270 as a team with men in scoring position. Very respectable batting average, much better than their overall team average of .257. They had a hit with a man in scoring position in the 4th inning. Bagwell at second could not score on a single to center by Hidalgo. Biggio fouls it back, and it's 1-2.
Really working Craig in hard with that fastball. If you start to look at it, if you're Craig and you think, okay, he's pounding me in with fastball, so I'm going to cheat a little bit and open up that front side, then he's going to drop that yacker on you, and you got no chance.
With a runner at third and less than 2 outs this year, the Astros have 54 RBIs in those situations in 121 attempts. Biggio with a grounder. Kyle has it. There's the throw to Vigna. Relay to Martinez. And the Cardinals get another double play. Their third of the game. No runs a hit. The Astros leave a man, and after 5, it's 1-0 St. Louis.
On Astros no score, top of the 6th. This Thursday night, 1 show only, 8 p.m. It'll take place. Music fans, join us for an acoustic evening in the Diamond Club with Texas recording artists Jesse Dayton and Davin James. Only 1 show from 8 until 10. For tickets, stop by the Astros Field box office. Call 1-877-9-ASTROS or www.tickets.com. We've got to stop this double play trend.
Wow. Boy, Darryl Kyle has come up with a big solution to those first and third 1-out problems he's had. 2 double plays in 2 innings. 6th inning, Placido Polanco leads it off. He has scored the only run of this game, and there's a ground ball hit up the right field line. Polanco turns for second base. Fan reaches over and interferes, and it's ruled a double. Polanco's 6th of the year. He led off the 4th inning with a single. Now he leads off the 6th by getting into scoring position.
Inside out swing on a fastball. Jeff was playing him off the line. No chance to get to that ball, which was right down the line. There's the contact. Created the interference call.
Who holds the batter? Albert is 0 for 2. He's flied to right and foul to the catcher. That was hit number 5 for St. Louis. Houston has 7. The Astros have stranded 5 to the Cardinals 3. Foul back for strike 1. Oswalt with the best ERA in the National League in the month of May, 1.55. For all those pitchers who have thrown at least 25 innings this month, is trailed by Tim Redding, who ranks 5th on the list at 2.18 for the month of May. One ball, 1 strike. Damian Moss of Atlanta is second at 1.75. Kerry Wood has a 1.95 May earned run average. Chris Rietzma of Cincinnati 2.01. Strike call, and it's 1-2. Tough game for Roy with his club unable to score so far.
His curveball backs up on him.
Line drive to left. Darrell Ward with a running catch. One out.
This looked like trouble off the bat. It was really well struck, but Ward closes and takes away extra bases from Pujols.
Good play by Ward. Got a nice jump on it. Now here's the intentional walk for Jim Edmonds. Edmonds 1 for 2 in this game. Will be put on. Tino Martinez will be batting. Runners at first and second and one out.
Logical play for a couple of reasons. One, Edmonds has just wore out the Astro club, not just this year, but in his career. And obviously, you set up the double play with a relatively slow-footed Tino Martinez due up next.
Martinez has grounded into 4 double plays. He hasn't done much against the Astros so far this year. So the intentional walk is the first base on balls for Roy in this game. He struck out 4. That gives him 17 walks and 65 strikeouts for the season. Bert Hooten's coming out. Last year, Roy had only 24 walks in 141 innings and 144 strikeouts.
It's the double play coach, Bert Hooten, coming to that.
That's right.
It's the only reason he's out there. He's got nothing to say. He's just his mere presence is going to bring double play karma.
Well, the Cardinals didn't need one for Darryl Kyle, did they? He did his own thing.
For you viewers in the Metroplex, we've got Texas Rangers baseball for you tomorrow night. Rangers are back home after a brutal road trip and now face the Minnesota Twins, who are tied for the lead in the AL Central. Coverage begins at 6:30 with Southwest Sports Tonight. Game time. Then it's Rangers baseball for you Metroplex viewers right here on Fox Sports Net.
Roy Oswalt versus Tino Martinez, who singled last time. Fly ball to right. Richard Hidalgo over toward the line. There's the catch, and Polanco will not move to third. The throw goes into Lugo. Whoa! It's out number 2. Polanco getting back to second. Hidalgo was over early and squaring his body for the throw.
You don't want to drift too far off base when you're dealing with the throwing arm of Richard Hidalgo. Squares up. Good throw.
Edgar Renteria has the lone RBI in this game after grounding out in the second. He put the ball in the air. A sac fly to center field in the 4th. Bases were loaded with 1 out in that inning. Renteria calls time. Former Florida Marlin, who settled in quite nicely with the Redbirds. After an off year last year, he has rebounded to look very strong this season. Strike 1 to Renteria. Good defensive player, as well as his hitting being strong this year.
Still just 26 years of age.
It's amazing, isn't it?
Guys have been around a long time. Just a pup when he came to the big leagues.
That was in '96.
I guess I should say he was a guppy when he came to the big leagues.
No balls and 2 strikes. Well, his first year with St. Louis, 99 was a good one, a 275 average, 63 runs batted in. Then he topped that the next year with 76 runs batted in. He won a Silver Slugger, scoring 94 times that year. Had a game-winning hit in Game 7 of the World Series in '97 for the Marlins. Popped up. Berkman awaits the fly ball in center field. And the intentional walk works for Jimmy Williams' club in the 6th inning for the Redbirds. It's no runs a hit, 2 men stranded. It's 1-0 St. Louis. settled into a familiar pattern, and JD, it's almost as if we're back in the 1960s and teams are thinking about scratching out a run here and there.
You get Kyle and Oswalt together, you can almost start the game from the 7th inning on, just make it a one-run game and go play.
So is it Bob Gibson versus Larry Dierker? Well, might as well be the way this game is going. Darryl Kyle works the bottom of the 6th inning. Berkman, Bagwell, and Ward trying to shake things up. The Astros have had their opportunities. Kyle has allowed 7 hits, but he has not walked anybody. He hit a batter in the last inning. Oswalt had runners at first and second, nobody out. Got his second double play ball in as many innings, and the Cardinals actually have turned 3 double plays in this game. So for Roy, it's a waiting game. He's posted his 0. Now Berkman, Bagwell, and Ward will try to put something together against Kyle, who's 2-3 for the season. There's strike 1. Berkman has fanned both times in this game. Cardinals use the infield shift as they have been throughout the season series, with 3 players between first and second for Lance. A changeup makes it 1 ball, 1 strike. So if he could drive the ball on the ground through the left side, an excellent chance for a hit there. One ball and 2 strikes. Kyle has had several games like this. Not much run support this year for St. Louis. Fly ball to right. Marrero to the wall, and it gets out. Home run number 16, Lance Berkman. Looked like he was jammed on it. But now it's a 1-1 game. And the train is rolling for Lance Berkman, who now has 45 runs batted in.
Well, opportunities went by the board in the previous 2 innings. This time it's a one-man show. Lance Berkman steps to the plate. And I don't know how many times he's got to lead the league in deceptive home runs.
Yeah.
You see balls off his bat where you go, that's probably not enough. And because of those strong hands, a big finish he puts on, the ball has a lot of carry. That's an angry young man.
5th home run allowed by Darryl Kyle. Now Jeff Bagwell looks at it. It's ball 1. Not much room for mistakes by these pitchers today. Bagwell struck out in the 2nd. He doubled in the 4th. One and 1 to Jeff. Barry Bonds has hit number 18 off Brian Anderson in the 5th inning, and the Giants have a 4-1 lead over Arizona in the top of the 6th now. Earlier, Reggie Sanders hit his 6th. Levon Hernandez against Brian Anderson in that game. That one slips, and it's 2 balls and a strike. The Astros have been out-homered by the Cardinals in the season series, 11-3 now. But Berkman's blow a big one in this game with nobody out. 3-1 the count.
And we talked earlier about how good this Cardinal bullpen is. You do not want to head into the late innings trailing. It's a huge home run that Lance just hit.
Kyle surrendered 5 of those in 60 innings. He walks Bagwell. That's his first walk. Home run, a walk. Now Darryl Ward tries to follow up. 30,543 the paid attendance. 82 pitches. And Mike Matheny's out for a word. Darryl Ward has struck out and fouled out to 3rd. Infield shift is on. Richard Hidalgo's on deck. With Tino holding Bagwell at first base, that does give Ward a little bit more room for a ground ball hit on the right side. Strike 1 for Kyle. Cardinals are not warming up a reliever right now. Kyle is scheduled to bat 3rd in the top of the 7th inning.
Cardinals have had 2 ground ball double plays in this game. The first double play came on a strikeout pickoff. And you'd like to try to run to do some things to stay out of the double plays, but that's a lot tougher to do with Matheny behind the plate.
It really is. 1 ball, 1 strike. Matheny's thrown out 10 of 24. Ward lets it go, and it's 2 balls and a strike to Darrell. Los Angeles and Hideo Nomo are leading Milwaukee and Ben Sheets 3-1 after 4.5. The throw goes to first. The Astros will be headed for Arizona on the second leg of their next road trip. They'll start in Chicago. Have a chance for a payback series at Wrigley Field against the Cubs, who just won 2 of 3 here. And probably we'll see Mark Pryor in that series.
He's pitching today, I believe.
Yeah. Fly ball right center, hit well. Marrero over, makes a running catch. Bagwell was near second. He goes back on out number 1.
That time Marrero got a real nice break on the ball, made a fine catch. Gets a little wave of the hand from his pitcher, saying, "Thanks for bailing me out. This ball pretty well struck by Big D." Marrero closing on it. Yeah, so we could have a Oswalt Pryor matchup in Chicago.
Oh, wouldn't that be fun?
What is today? Monday, right? So
Yep.
maybe Saturday.
Maybe Saturday. Day off Thursday for the Astros. We're not sure what that will do to the rotation with Wade Miller coming back on Wednesday night. Richard Hidalgo 2 for 2 in this game. Double to left center and a single to center. Cardinals have turned 55 double plays now. This is their 51st game. Hidalgo is grounded into 5. And it's ball 1 from Darrell Kyle.
The other thing that makes running a little bit tougher to do, and now that it's 1-0, you've got a better chance. But the Cardinals pitch out a fair amount. And obviously, the Astros have advanced scouts, and we play this club a lot, so you know that Tony's inclined to pitch out from time to time. Sometimes as a club, you have to do that for that reason alone. Maybe you're not going to get a guy running in that situation, but if you show that you will pitch out, the club has to be aware of it.
1 ball and 1 strike.
That was a nasty curveball there by Darrell Kyle.
That was his very first pitch of this game, and he's followed that up with any number of outstanding curveballs.
Darren Dalton once said of Kyle's curveball, it's like he's got a joystick.
2 balls and a strike. That night he pitched the no-hitter against the New York Mets. Did he ever have a beauty? Had everything working that night in the Astrodome.
Did you see Blyleven in his prime?
Yeah, some of them. Toward the end of his career. He had a tremendous curve, didn't he?
I didn't see much of him in his prime. I saw him at the end of his career, but just from the guys who played and hit against him, it's generally regarded, at least in that era, that generation, the best curveballer.
He really was. He was tremendous. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Some pitchers feel that they get the call on the curveball more this year, dropping it into the top of the strike zone. Laredo pitch grounded right back to Kyle. Vina, and then a second out on the play as the Cardinals turn 2 for the 3rd consecutive inning, and 4 double plays in this game. This time it's 1, 4, 3. And it's 1-1 after 6. Houston Astros baseball on Fox Sports Net is being brought to you by Subway. Subway, eat fresh. Lowe's Home Improvement Warehouse. Lowe's, improving home improvement. And by Southwest Airlines. Southwest Airlines, bringing people together with low fares. Those are the bases for this holiday occasion. Festively adorned, Roy Oswalt and Darryl Kile really doing a number here. With men on base, it's still a 1-1 game, despite the fact the Astros have had 8 hits. They've grounded into 3 double plays, and with a pickoff at first, they've been victimized by 4 double plays in this game. Here's the 7th inning. And a fly ball hit to left by Marrero toward the Crawford boxes, and it's hooking foul.
Here's some high drama for you.
After Oswalt just got the Berkman homer, he almost gave up one.
Low fastball, Marrero up there, first pitch hacking. Just a little out in front of it. Roy has not allowed one in over 60 innings now.
Going to Marrero now. He fouls it back, and it's 0-2 to Eli. He's 0 for 2 in this game. These two teams are playing for the 10th time this season. Another close game. Of the previous 9 games, 5 have been decided by 1 run and 1 by 2 runs. 1 ball and 2 strikes. We just played a series in St. Louis, as you know, and all 3 of those games were close. Cardinals won 3-1, 3-2, and 5-4. Line drive to left field. A hit. Marrero running hard around first, and he takes the big turn. Darrell Ward gets to the ball in good shape. Marrero was thinking double out of the box. So after the foul ball with home run distance, he gets a single on a 1-2 pitch.
Not much of a swing. He was fooled a little bit, but able to keep the hands back well enough to get the head of the bat on the ball.
Now, double play possibility here for Houston. Mike Matheny, the batter, but Marrero may try to steal a base here. He is 7 for 7. Throw goes to first. Matheny has grounded into just 1 double play. He's had 95 at bats. Darryl Kile is on deck, and just now the Cardinals start warming up a pitcher in their bullpen. Gene Steckschulte. Oswalt very mindful of that base runner. The Cardinals have 14 stolen bases in 18 tries against the Astros. The bunt is popped up. Osmus going for it, but he can't get there, and it's foul, strike 1.
Fastball's in. Boy, that's a self-defense bunt. If he doesn't put bat on it, it's going to hit him in the leg.
Yeah.
Well, you got to believe the Cardinals are prepared to pinch hit for Darryl Kile if they got Matheny up there sacrificing.
Steckschulte in the bullpen. And then Vina, the leadoff man. Steckschulte tuning it up pretty good right now. So it's no balls and a strike as he gets ready. There's a little foul bunt try again, and it's no balls and 2 strikes. So twice Matheny's been unable to get the bunt down.
There are times as a pitcher, if you're in the on-deck circle right now, where you hope he doesn't get the bunt down because you want to stay in this game. I'm not saying that's the case with Kyle. He just wants to win the game, and obviously if the Cardinals advance the runner, put him in scoring position, he's still got a chance to be the winning pitcher. But there's certain games where you feel like you're the better option than the guy out in the bullpen. You want to stay in the game because you feel comfortable about your ability to put zeros on the board.
Detroit down Cleveland today 4-1. The winner, Mark Redmond, is 2-5. Dennis Baez took the loss. He goes to 4-4. Damian Jackson hit number 1. Ellis Burks number 6, the 2 home runs in the game. Pitch out. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Oswalt and Kyle have delivered with their third straight pitchers duel head-to-head this season. Quite often, the matchup does not live up to the advanced billing, but today, once again, it has. These two clubs who battled tooth and nail right to the final day of the season last year, once again are at it. A very important game for both of them here, even though it is relatively early season. The bunt is a good one with 2 strikes. Oswalt flips to Biggio, and Matheny was right down to it on a 1-2 count. He did get the bunt down this time. Tony La Russa gave him a third shot, and he delivered this time. Marrero to second on out number 1, and Darryl Kyle's out of the game. Miguel Cairo will pinch hit for Kyle.
Great mechanics on the bunt there by Matheny. Seems square early, gets the head of the bat out in front of home plate, and really uses the legs. Oftentimes that's when a bunter gets in trouble, when he tries to make adjustments, just dropping the head of the bat using his hands.
So DK out of this game after 6 innings of work today, allowing 8 hits and 1 run. He walked 1, had 4 strikeouts, and hit a batter. Miguel Cairo is having a nice season, especially in pinch hitting roles. A .265 hitter overall, .438 as a pinch hitter. 7 hits and 16 at bats, with 5 runs batted in for Cairo as a pinch hitter. Time called as he steps away. He can play infield or outfield. Cairo came up with 2 hits off the bench last Thursday against the Astros. Those are his overall numbers. It's ball 1 to Cairo. Marrero with good speed on at second. Vina on deck. Cairo's leading the National League in pinch hits right now with 7. He started at first, second, third, and left field. Oswalt turns back toward the runner, Marrero. Cardinals as a team have 16 pinch hits and 13 runs batted in from those pinch hitters. Fly ball into shallow left. Lugo out quickly in front of Ward. He makes the play. It's nicely done. What could have been a treacherous one for the Astros. Lugo turns it into out number 2.
Well, he got a quick break.
And he let Darryl Ward know without any hesitation that he would be there for that play. Jimmy Williams comes out now. Vina is the hitter. Oswalt is due to bat third in the bottom of the inning. Vina's 1 for 3 in this game. Pop fly single, a line drive to second, and a ground ball to first. Polanco on deck.
That's what that conversation is all about. Feeling out Roy Oswalt, whether he'd prefer to go after Vina or just go ahead and walk him and pitch to the right-handed hitting Polanco.
93 pitches for Roy. Vina is 4 for 13 in his career against Roy. Calls time, backs away.
Perhaps not so much how do you want to pitch Vina, but just a reminder, look, if you get behind, don't forget you've got a base open. There's no need to throw pitch to the heart of the plate.
Strike call to Vina.
And Roy's got a bruise where he was hit with that pitch.
Popped up. Lugo. And after a leadoff single, the Cardinals fail to score. No runs, a hit. A man left in scoring position. Will stay right here for the singing on this patriotic day. One game, as you see on our Gatorade game summary. St. Louis got the run in the 4th inning. And then the Astros tied with a 1-1 score when Lance Berkman went deep for the 16th time. That was leading off the 6th inning. The Renteria sac fly accounting for the Cardinals' run earlier. The Astros have hit into 4 double plays, 3 on the ground. Darryl Kyle leaving after 6 innings of 8 hits, 1 run baseball. He walked 1, fanned 4, hit a batter, and now with the Astros and Cardinals tied, the Cardinals go to their bullpen with right-hander Gene Steckschulte coming in. JD.
Yep. Primarily sinker slider guy is Steckschulte. Having a good year. He's 5-1, ERA 2.91. He's been out there 18 times. League batting .227 against him. 8 walks, 17 strikeouts, 17 hits allowed in 21 2/3 innings.
For the Astros, it's the 7, 8, 9 hitters due up. Ensberg, Osmus, and Oswalt. Octavio Dotel is throwing in the Astros bullpen as Morgan Ensberg bats. He's 0 for 2. Cardinal bullpen has been tremendous with the best ERA in the major leagues of 2.58, leading the National League in wins with 13 and with 7 losses. Strike 1 for Steckschulte. Steckschulte, when he keeps the ball down, extremely effective. 28-year-old who pitched 67 times last year for the Redbirds. Ground ball slowly hit. Vigna's in. It's 1 out. Steckschulte was an undrafted free agent. The Cardinals signed him in '96. This is his 5th appearance already this year against the Astros. He got a win in Houston on April 5th with a couple of scoreless innings. Woody Williams was injured after 2 innings as a starter, and Steckschulte came in the 3rd inning. Played an important role in the Cardinals' 3-1 win last week in St. Louis. Brad Osmus is 1 for 2. Here's strike 1 to him with Oswalt on deck. Brad's single came in the 5th inning on a broken bat. Line drive to left.
I think the only way Oswalt leaves this game is if Osmus were to hit a double or a triple and there'd be an RBI situation. Then you pinch hit for Roy. Brad is able to reach for the base hit or walk. Probably have Roy just go up there and bunt him over.
2 balls, 1 strike. In Steckschulte's career against the Astros, he's 1-2 with an ERA of 7.63. Osmus puts it in the air. Jim Edmonds back into left center field. It's about a 400-foot out, number 2.
This is interesting. Saturday, June 8th, the Astros will conduct an open tryout camp at the Woodlands High School, Scotland Yard. Address 3800 South Panther Creek. It's in the Woodlands. Registration is at 8 a.m. The camp begins at 8:30. For information, call 713-259-8921.
We know you must be at least 16 years of age to go to one of those. Roy Oswalt was hit by a pitch in the 5th inning. He grounded out in the 3rd. Got a shot of that bruise on his right forearm from being hit by the pitch.
You know, those tryout camps, they work sometimes.
Yes, they do. Did you ever go to one?
Yeah, I got drafted by the Expos out of high school primarily because I'd gone to a couple of those tryout camps up in Montreal.
They just kept tabs on you then?
Yeah. They sit around all day. At least I did, and I kind of finally threw at the end of the game. They put a radar gun on you and said, hey, I was keeping an eye on.
Well, in that movie, The Rookie.
Yes.
Saw the story of Jim Morris. He was signed out of tryout camp. 2 balls and a strike.
It's funny too. A couple of camps I went to up in Montreal, there was a lot of, you could tell they were softball players. A couple guys would show up with blue jeans and street shoes on, smoking a schmag. He's gone. He wanted to try out for the Expos.
Oh, yeah. 3-1.
That's not going to work.
A couple of other tryout camps are coming up. Saturday, June 15th at the Dell Diamond, and Monday, July 1st up in Lexington, Kentucky. Appleby Park. 3-1. Full count now for Steckschulte. Steckschulte's outing on Saturday at Pittsburgh went well for him. There is strike 3 call, and the 7th inning goes in 1-2-3 fashion for him. The game still tied 1-1.
Cardinals 1, Astros 1, top of the 8th here at Astros Field. We've got game 2 of this series with the Cardinals tomorrow night. It's Shane Reynolds opposed by Matt Morris. Coverage begins at 6:30 p.m. with Southwest Sports Tonight. Game time with Kevin Eschenfelder. Then it's baseball at 7. Your home for Astros baseball is right here on Fox Sports Net.
Roy Oswalt in a 1-1 game works the 8th inning. Placido Polanco has 2 of the Cardinals' 6 hits, a single and a double. He scored after his 4th inning single. He takes ball 1 as he leads off the 8th with Albert Pujols on deck and Jim Edmonds to follow. Lefty Pedro Borbon is losing in the Astros pen. 91 pitches for Roy so far, and those are the numbers for him. Ground ball past a diving Ensberg for a 3rd consecutive hit for Polanco. And it's the 3rd time he's led off an inning in this game by getting on board. Five times in 8 innings, the Cardinals have placed the leadoff man on base. Albert Pujols is 0 for 3, hit the ball well on a line to left field in the 6th inning, and Darrell Ward made a good catch on him. Lugo and Biggio set up to turn a double play, something the Cardinals have done on 4 occasions in this game. Runner goes, and that's a hit and run play. Ball out of the strike zone, but Pujols went for it, and it's strike 1.
Pujols does not run well. A ground ball to an infield. There's going to be a double play, so the Cardinals create a little movement in that infield. Start Polanco. And Pujols does well just to get a piece of that ball.
Fouled away, and it's no balls, 2 strikes for Roy. Roy getting a chance to stay in this tie game. Lugo, Biggio, and Berkman due up in the bottom of the inning. With Borbon warming up, Edmonds on deck, then Martinez, 2 left-handed hitters back to back. That might be the reason. It's 1-2. Oswalt continues to go 6 innings in every start this year, all 11 of them. He's 11-2 in his career in this ballpark with a 2.26 earned run average. Pujols calls time.
Pretty much a sure thing. About as close to it as you can get.
It's been amazing.
Count on him to give you 7 innings and hold the other club down every time he goes out there.
Rolls on through into right field. Polanco will head for 3rd base without a throw. The ball not hit well, but Pujols found that slot, and it's 1st and 3rd, nobody out.
You're right, not hit well at all. But he's a strong guy, and he's able to hit it through the hole on the right side. Plenty of room over there. The Astros are playing for 2 in the middle of the diamond.
Jim Edmonds has a single, and last time up he was walked intentionally. Lefty Borbon has been tuning it up for a while now. Edmonds and then Tino Martinez, 2 left-hand hitters together in this lineup, would be the next 2, and Bert Hooton's coming to the mound. His visit could be to buy some time for Bourbon, but it appears that Bourbon's ready to go right now because he stopped throwing for the moment.
Well, Jimmy Williams took a fair amount of heat after that game in St. Louis last week when he pulled Roy with a lead after 7 innings. I can't imagine that's going to affect his decision, but what he may be doing here is saying, look, last time I pulled you, bullpen coughed it up. I'm going to allow you to stay in this ball game and try to reward you, give you a chance to win this game.
The infielders are coming in on the left side. Biggio playing about halfway. He's at his normal double play depth. And this is the confrontation with those lineup cards showing you all the extra players available. Edmonds is the man right now. 35 runs batted in this year for Jim Edmonds. Ball 1 to Edmonds, who with that uppercut swing has grounded into only 1 double play. One and one. Last year he drove in 110 runs.
Changeup. Not in a good spot, but he hasn't thrown many of them today, so the element of surprise working for him there as Edmonds was out in front, geared for the heater.
Edmonds is a .429 career hitter at Astros Field. 1-2. And he saw another changeup.
Now you're thinking punch out. Fastball in. Didn't get it in. That's a pretty interesting confrontation right here because Edmonds is a good fastball hitter, and oftentimes you'll see him cheat on that fastball in and open up and really juice it. But it's also a pitch you'll see him strike out on, swing through that high heater. So that's the risk-reward ratio that you're dealing with if you're Roy Oswalt right now.
Two balls, 2 strikes to Jim Edmonds. Cardinals got him in a trade with the Anaheim Angels, and he has really paid off in a Redbird uniform. Now it's 3-2. Edmonds drove in 108 runs in his first year in St. Louis, 2000. 110 last year. Three balls, 2 strikes. Runners at first and third. Nobody out in the 8th. Milwaukee has scored again in the top of the 7th at Los Angeles. 3-2 Dodgers. Fly ball to center. Berkman. And it's a 2-1 lead for St. Louis. Sacrifice fly. Polanco scoring. Edmonds getting RBI number 36.
Another real good at bat by Jimmy Edmonds. He seems to never give up an at bat in these games against the Astros.
Tino Martinez is 1 for 3. Pujols draws a throw. Ball 1 to Martinez. Cardinals really have a well put together batting order here. They have some speed at the top, some contact hitting. And then the mashers in the middle. 2 balls, no strikes. Tino really hasn't gotten rolling yet, so they would seem to be capable of doing an even better job offensively if they could stay healthy this season.
Roy really out of whack in the last couple of pitches. His delivery out of sync. Got to be careful here. Dangerous hitter in Martinez.
Two and one. And Torreya's on deck. Only Jeff Bagwell has more runs batted in among Major League first basemen than Tino for the last 7 years. It's 3 balls and a strike. Two to 1 game. The Cardinals have just broken the 1-1 tie. Now they look for an even bigger inning here in the 8th. Fly ball right field. Hidalgo back to the wall. 2-run homer. Tino Martinez. Number 6 of the year. It's 4-1 St. Louis. .28 runs batted in now for Martinez. That'll be it for Oswalt. Cardinals leading by 3. That's their 9th hit, 2 by their first sacker. The call goes out to the bullpen. That means time for a Southwestern Bell pitching change. We'll be right back.
This is presented by the authority of the Houston Astros and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form without the express written consent of the Houston Astros.
Ricky Stone moves in as the Astros trail 4-1. Ricky, the busiest Houston reliever, takes over for the 27th time. Those are his numbers, JD.
Went twice to the Cubs series, pitched an inning in each of the last 2 games of the Chicago series. A very good ERA at 2.77, 26 innings, 20 hits, 4 long ones, 15 walks, and 15 strikeouts as well.
Roy Oswalt in 7 1/3 innings allowed 9 hits and 4 runs. He walked 1 and fanned 4. The home run by Martinez was the first one Roy allowed in some 63 innings, covering 8 starts, almost 9. Strike to Renteria. He's 0 for 2 with a sac fly. Oswalt has allowed only 3 long balls this year. More than 76 innings pitched. Eli Marrero's on deck. It's 1-1 for Ricky Stone. His last outing was Sunday. Well, yesterday. The 7-5 Astros win. He worked 1 scoreless inning. Came in with the Astros trailing 3-0 in the 7th. The bases loaded. 2 of those runners scored. On a Moises Alou 2-run single. 1 ball and 2 strikes. The Astros have Lugo, Biggio, and Berkman due up in the bottom of the inning. Grounder, and Stone has it. 2 outs. Sano Polanco's been a big factor in this game with 3 hits and 2 runs scored. He has started both of the Cardinals' scoring rallies. Eli Marrero's 1 for 3. Marrero singled in the 7th inning on a 1-2 pitch. Strike 1. Ricky Stone and the Astros relievers have been joined by Jim Mann. As they continue to go with a 12-man pitching staff and make room for Wade Miller on Wednesday night. At that point, Dave Malicki will be placed on the disabled list, and he's expected to miss probably at least a month and maybe quite a bit more than that. So Wade will take the ball against Garrett Stevenson here Wednesday night at 6:05, and the Astros get their opening day starter back into the rotation at that time. fouled away.
Jim Mann was quick to point out this morning, Brownie, and this afternoon when I got to the ballpark, that the team's undefeated since he's been here.
Oh,
He's got some good karma going.
that's right. Looking for good karma these days, and last night certainly was an example of what can happen in the late innings. The Astros will be looking for that again when they come up. Stone strikes out Marrero, but the Cardinals break the tie with 3 runs on 3 hits, and it's 4-1 St. Louis. Here's a look now at our Pennzoil protection play. The Cardinals have had 4 double plays. Here's a double play on a pickoff at first after the Berkman strikeout, and then one of 3 ground ball double plays. Ensberg grounding into the around the horn in the 4th inning. Biggio with a 1-4-3 started by Kyle in the 5th, and then Kyle starts another one in the 6th inning. A ball hit by Richard Hidalgo. Gene Steckschulte is in a position to be the winning pitcher now. He is 5-1 this season. 5 of the Cardinals' 13 relief wins coming from this right-hander. He has a pretty good leg up toward doing that after the 3-run top of the 8th inning.
So if he can get through the 8th, Isringhausen undoubtedly would have the 9th. Unless there's something physically going on with him that we're not aware of.
Steckschulte would be due to bat second in the top of the 9th. Julio Lugo is 2 for 3. Goes down on ball 1. Steckschulte had a 1-2-3 7th inning. Separated Lugo from his bat there on his first pitch in the 8th.
Fans reacting as if that was a little intentional, but it was actually just a slider that got away. It was a slider that didn't slide.
Those can be very dangerous in a couple of ways. Sometimes they wind up being whacked over the wall. That one was dangerous to Lugo. 2 balls, no strikes.
Well, you need a little traffic here, so I'd be inclined to have Julio take a pitch.
Polanco comes in to say something to his pitcher. Sean Green just hit his 13th homer for Milwaukee. It's 5-2 Los Angeles over Milwaukee in the 7th inning.
Guy's redefining hot. That didn't have to be a strike, by the way.
Ooh. 2-1 to count. Jerry Meals has made some high strike calls in this game. Steckschulte throws ball 3, and it's 3 balls and a strike. Tim Redding is warming up in the Astros bullpen. Tim probably will be pushed back a few days, maybe skipped for his next start, so he's available in relief. It's 3 balls and 2 strikes. Steckschulte won 1 and lost 5 last year for St. Louis. He's reversed that record. Native of Lima, Ohio, went to Ashland College. Grounded to short. Renteria. There's 1 out in the 8th inning. Cardinals have a record of 24-1. They lead after 8. The 1 was here in April when the Astros rallied to tie it in the bottom of the 9th and then won the game in the 12th. Greg Biggio singled to right of the 3rd. He's 1 for 3.
I feel like you got to score a run or 2 here in this inning, because try to score at least 3 against Isringhausen in the 9th is a monumental task.
Strike to Biggio with Berkman on deck.
How about this? For $250, fans can spend the night in the outfield at Comiskey Park.
Oh, I saw that.
That's going to be fun.
That's
250 ticket holders will have that opportunity.
It's called what, a night-day doubleheader? Little dribbler to third base. Polanco watches it go foul. 0-2. They come for a night game, and then they spend the night, and then they stay for the day game next afternoon.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Fireworks, a picnic, a silent auction of Sox memorabilia.
A movie, right?
Yeah, midnight snack. A baseball movie up on the scoreboard on the Diamond Vision.
Right.
That's a great idea. Continental breakfast and a workout.
That's a lot to offer.
That is really neat.
You ever heard of that one before?
No.
That might be a first.
Guests must bring their own sleeping bags and pajamas.
Biggio takes ball one.
An outdoor shower will be installed. I mean, they're doing it upright.
They've got everything. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
That is very clever.
Spend the night at the ball.
Well, who else? Mike Veck first did it in '97 at Fort Myers.
Oh. So it's not a first.
First in the big leagues.
Line shot and a foul ball for Biggio. Mike Veck is now working for Detroit, is he not?
I believe so.
Detroit club, by the way, has played 500 balls since the 0-11 start.
A lot of clubs that started poorly have turned it around. Colorado's playing much better.
Yes. In the dirt. It's 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Schulte try to get you to chase that slider down and away. It's more of a side-to-side pitcher. He doesn't throw many real off-speed pitches to get you out on that front foot, but he'll move the ball in and out. Fastball in, slider away.
Biggio has worked the count full now. Cardinal bullpen continuing to post great numbers. The relievers of the Redbirds allowed just 1 run in 7 1/3 innings during their weekend series at PNC Park. Dave Veers warming up now. Biggio works the walk. That's a nice job.
Tuesday, June 11th, Astros Cubs at 7:05. The first 10,000 adults at the ballpark will take home an Astros sport bottle, courtesy of Ruggles. For tickets, stop by the Astros Field box office. Call 1-877-9-ASTROS. Visit Houston area Sears hardware stores, Oshman's Super Sports USA, or log on to Astros.com.
That's right. The Cubs are coming right back here. Now there's a meeting at the mound, and Dave Duncan, the pitching coach, will be joining that meeting. Lance Berkman, the batter. Lance has struck out twice, and then he homered in the 6th inning to tie it off Darryl Kyle.
Most pitchers command their fastball better than they do their breaking ball. I'm somewhat surprised that Schulte threw the 3-2 slider. You know, in a crunch situation, that's a real good pitch to throw Craig, but when you've got a 3-run lead, the last thing you want to do is walk somebody. But there are other pitchers who command their slider just as well as they do their fastball. Perhaps that's the case with Schulte.
Lefty Mike Matthews has joined the right-hander Dave Veers in the Cardinal bullpen. Steve Klein, by the way, their injured left-handed reliever, is still on a rehab assignment and is scheduled to pitch a couple of innings Wednesday, so will not be available for this series. Now it's Berkman. Infield shift on again with 1 out in the 8th. Ball 1. Tino Martinez is not holding Biggio at first. He's playing fairly close to the bag, but not at first base. Giving him a little more time to field a grounder should Berkman rip one up the line. 2 balls, no strikes. Berkman is 5 for 7 against Schulte in his career. Foul tip makes it 2-1 with Jeff Bagwell on deck. Cardinals have won 5 straight series. In their last 18 games, their relievers have an ERA of 0.92. Now it's 3-1. The Astros, who had the magic going last night with 3 in the 7th and 4 in the 8th to win at 7-5, would love to duplicate that. That might really get them rolling, especially as tough as this Cardinal team has been. Berkman fouls it back, and it's a full count.
A pretty good pitch to swing at. Just a little late movement from Schulte. Got him down off the end of the bat a little bit.
Cardinals put together a 9-1 homestand. Russa's Redbirds flying high right now, 1 game behind Cincinnati. Berkman to left. Good distance. Crawford box is waiting. 2-run homer. It's a 1-run lead. Second home run of the game for Lance Berkman. That's number 17 for Lance. 1 away from the major league lead of Sammy Sosa and Barry Bonds. 3 runs batted in today. 47 of those.
Little late magic again this afternoon, perhaps. Talk about redemption. First 2 at-bats today, Berkman struck out. Last 2 at-bats, dinger, dinger. 1 to right and 1 to left.
Now Matheny to the mound. Bagwell is ready to hit. Now Tino Martinez went deep in the top of the inning. Now Lance Berkman answers. Well, we've had a pair of 2-run jacks in this frame. A 1-1 game going to the 8th. The excitement happening late today, and Tony La Russa is on his way. It'll be Dave Veers against Jeff Bagwell, it appears. 1 out in the 8th inning. Cardinals lead it 4-3 over the Astros. We'll return after this. On ball game, St. Louis 4, Houston 3. Tino Martinez connecting in the top of the 8th inning with a homer. Now Lance Berkman answers with his second of the day.
Said many times that this ballpark is built for Lance Berkman. Ability to drive the ball the other way. Pays off right there, and the Astros get a couple of huge runs, as we said prior to the home run, with Isringhausen waiting out there in that Cardinal bullpen and having to score 3 runs against him in the 9th. Obviously very difficult. The 8th isn't over yet. Here's the numbers on Dave Veers. 3-3 record, 3.14 ERA. His 24th appearance this afternoon. 1 out of 3 in save opportunities. 20 strikeouts, 18 walks. That's a fairly high number for Dave at 28 2/3.
Veers versus Bagwell. Jeff has a double and a walk on his 34th birthday. He homered off Veers in a game in 2000 here at Houston, but Veers saved it in a 10-9 Cardinal win. Ball 1. Veers has pitched very effectively this year against the Astros. Total of 3 outings and a lot of work without giving up an earned run. Strike makes it 1-1 for Jeff. Veers worked 2 innings on Wednesday and was credited with his 3rd win in the Cardinals' 3-2 victory. That was a game started by Kyle against Oswalt. Two balls and a strike to Jeff.
Pretty good confrontation here in that Veers doesn't really like to give in and challenge with his fastball. He'll try to get you to chase pitches out of the strike zone, primarily that good splitter. That's his best weapon. Bagwell, a guy who's not inclined to chase many bad pitches.
It's 3-1.
So if you're Dave Veers, what is your mindset right now? You challenge with the heater? Unlikely.
Bagwell fouls it. 3-2. Veers really became a good major league pitcher with the Houston Astros. He was traded to Montreal in a Sean Berry deal after the '95 season. Cardinals got him after the '99 year. Pitched in '94 and '95 with Houston. 72 outings in the '95 season. He walks Bagwell.
Challenge with the 3-1 pitch, but the 3-2 pitch wasn't even close, and he shook about 7 times. I don't think he's got that many pitches. A lot of times a catcher will just signal for the pitcher to shake his head just to try to create some doubt in the hitter's mind.
Darrell Ward's the batter. He's 0 for 3. Infield shift is on again with 1 out. Bagwell being held on by Martinez. Ball 1 to Ward. Hidalgo on deck. Another good ball game today. These two teams have played nothing but good games this year. Very interesting for the fans. The bullpens usually decide them. Cardinal bullpen is 4-1 in the games against the Astros, while the Astros pen is 0-3. Barry Bonds hitting his 18th today for the Giants. He's one behind Frank Robinson for 4th on the all-time list now, 585. Ball from Jerry Meals. Let's see it.
Not a terrible pitch, but like I said, it didn't have to be.
Ward has bounced into 3 double plays. Cardinals have turned 3 on the ground, 1 more in the game. 2 balls, 1 strike. Beers began his career in the Oakland organization. Now 35. He pitched 71 times for St. Louis last year. He had 15 saves, and this year reverting to his more comfortable setup role. He's done quite a nice job. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Split finger pitch. Beers had 31 saves as a Rocky in '99. So he's been a closer and a setup guy in his career. Extremely durable. Looking over at Bagwell at first base. Ward lifts one to right field. Coming over Marrero. He makes a running catch just inside the line. 2 outs. Marrero covering some good ground in right field today.
I made a real good catch. Moving to the gap to his right earlier, this time towards the line on a ball that looked like it might be trouble off the bat, but just a little too much hang time.
Richard Hidalgo's 2 for 3.
Now, I really think Mike Matheny's presence has been huge here today, simply because there's been plenty of instances where you think the Astros might put a runner in motion, and they have not. Probably because of the arm of that man right there.
Hidalgo's 2 for 11 in his career against Beers. Ball 1 to Richard. Morgan Ensberg on deck. Line drive going foul. Makes it 1 ball, 1 strike.
Bring you this interruption in our dramatic 4-3 ball game for this bit of information. Kevin Mitchell didn't know he was still playing. He's playing in the Western Baseball League, and he's been suspended 7 games for throwing a punch at an opposing third base coach. The former National League MVP Kevin Mitchell. That's not the first time he's been in trouble playing in the independent league.
Beers gets a call, and it's 1-2.
Game between the Crushers and the Steelheads. The Crushers. That was Bugs Bunny's team, wasn't it?
Yeah, you'd have to expect punches thrown in that matchup. Hidalgo swings and misses, striking out. Matheny throws to first to complete the inning. And Lance Berkman's homer makes it a 1-run ball game. It's 4-3 Cardinals. Moving to the 9th.
Astros 3. It's the show that's changing the face of sports television, the best sports show, period. Tonight, Mavericks owner Mark Cuban drops by to talk NBA playoffs, plus comedian Carrot Top checks in to share his unique view of the world of sports and find out what the Kings and Lakers were really thinking about during the last seconds of yesterday's game. It's the best sports show, period. Tonight, 11, here on Fox Sports Net.
Octavio Dotel works the ninth inning for the Astros. It's 4-3 Cardinals as Dotel comes in to face Mike Matheny. J.D. Drew on deck to pinch hit for Veers. There's strike one. Matheny 0 for 2 with a sac bunt. Dotel comes in with a record of 3 wins and 2 losses. The Astros will have the bottom of the order due up in the last of the ninth inning. Ensberg, Ausmus, and Dotel. Fastball makes it 0-2 to Mike Matheny. Ricky Stone worked 2/3 of an inning, gave up no hits, no runs, no walks, and 1 strikeout. Roy Oswalt in 7 1/3 allowed 9 hits and 4 runs with a walk and 4 Ks. Dotel throws strike 3. That'll be J.D. Drew pinch hitting for Veers.
Little low cheddar. Outside corner. Good fastball. There are the numbers on Octavio. He's on for the 25th time. He's 3-2, 3.41 the ERA. 29 innings, 25 hits, 10 walks, 31 strikeouts, 4 home runs allowed.
Dave Veers left after 2/3 of an inning, allowing no hits or runs with 1 walk and 1 strikeout. J.D. Drew is the hitter for him. Ball 1 to Drew. A .282 hitter with 181 at bats, 7 homers, 22 runs batted in. Drew's 0 for 3 as a pinch hitter. He's jammed on this one. Ensberg hustling over near the Cardinal dugout. He can't get there. Tried the sliding play. 1 ball, 1 strike. Take you back to Wednesday night when Dotel came in. Well, no Ricky Stone against J.D. Drew there. That was the bottom of the 9th inning, game-winning homer Wednesday night. Dotel had pitched the 8th inning in that game. So Drew had the dramatic blow to send the Cardinal faithful home very happy. He also had an 8th inning RBI single on Thursday for a 2nd straight game-winning hit in the Cardinals' final at bat against the Astros. Strike call to Drew.
Well, he's got good life on that fastball. One clocked at 96 miles an hour. Explosive action as it gets into the hitting zone.
Breaking pitch makes it 2 balls, 2 strikes.
I think he's thrown that breaking ball harder last couple times out.
Yeah. Fly ball up the right field line, going foul, hustling over Biggio and Bagwell. Richard Hidalgo over for a look. It's out of play, and it's still 2-2 to J.D. Drew. Drew hit a 496-foot homer against the Astros back in mid-April. It's the 8th longest at Busch Stadium.
Yeah, he can turn on a good fastball. He's got a quick bat.
Fly ball. Berkman backing in center. 2 outs. Drew may stay in the game to play the outfield. Fernando Vina comes up. Vina opened the game with a pop fly single. He's 1 for 4. The closer, Jason Isringhausen, is warming up for the bottom of the 9th inning. Placido Polanco is on deck. He has 3 of the Cardinals' 9 hits. The Astros also have 9. Gene Steckschulte is in line to be the winning pitcher, even though he gave up 2 runs. Pena showing bunt, and the appeal goes to third. The call there by Jeff Kellogg is that he did not offer. Ball 1 to Pena. Fernando turned 33 back in April. Won his first Gold Glove last year, and he hit .303. Tell delivers ball 2.
He's among the best in the league at turning the double play. I'm trying to think of anybody who's quicker. I don't know if I can come up with one.
He might be the very best. Three balls, no strikes. How much validity you will give to this stat is up to you, but given a ground ball with a runner on first, he turns a double play 74% of the time, and that is by far the best percentage, ahead of Damian Easley and Jeff Kent. Not this year, but for career. 3 balls and a strike.
That has merit.
Yeah. Well, he does have a very quick release, and he gets something on his throw too.
Yep, he's got the arm, and the other thing he's got is he's just going to hang in there.
Right.
You're not going to see him tiptoe off the back of the bag.
Strike makes it 3-2. Dotel trying to make it a 1-2-3 ninth. Jimmy Williams has Orlando Merced and other possible left-handed hitters available for pinch hitting duty in the bottom half against Isringhausen. There's a walk with 2 outs to Pena. Pena will have to wait another day for career hit number 1,000. Our next tell, you make the call replay, coming your way right now. Julio Lugo had singled in the bottom of the first, and he was picked off first by Mike Matheny on a strikeout by Lance Berkman. Tino Martinez with the tag, as that dirt proved to be kind of sticky for Lugo going back into first base there. Polanco, a major factor in this game with 3 hits and 2 runs scored. He's 3 for 4. Pena has 9 steals in 14 attempts. Giants continue to lead Arizona 7-3 now in the bottom of the 8th inning at Pac Bell Park. Pitch out. Ball 1 to Polanco.
A good situation for the Cardinals to run in here to try to play a little add-on. They have a 1-run lead. Polanco's having a good day at the plate with 3 hits, trying to get into scoring position for him.
1 ball and 1 strike. Albert Pujols is on deck. Boston and Toronto just underway at Sky Dome. No score, top of the first inning. Roy Halladay's pitching for Toronto, and it's Frank Castillo for the Red Sox. Pena takes off. Here's the throw from Osmus, and it's a stolen base. Pena with a big jump, steals his 10th of the year.
There's the break by Pena. It was a breaking ball down. Tough pitch for Brad to handle. Really couldn't get much on the throw at all.
The count goes to 2-1 now. Time call by Polanco. Dotel put together a very nice string of games, 7 games in a row with a total of 9 innings with an ERA of 0, but then 2 blown saves in a row. A little jam shot pop-up gets Osmus over near the on-deck circle. 4 to play to end the top of the 9th inning. No runs, no hits, a man stranded. Now the Astros come up in the last of the 9th, trailing the Redbirds 4-3.
Coming up tonight on the Southwest Sports Report, you'll see highlights from the Comets game as they face the defending champion LA Sparks. Highlights also from the Lone Star Million. Bob McNair's got a horse running in that one. Rangers Twins highlights coming your way as well. That's The Southwest Sports Report, the show that was voted the best sportscast in Texas tonight at 10, only on Fox Sports Net.
Jason Isringhausen is the Cardinal closer. They signed him as a free agent. He had a good year for Oakland last year, and he is having quite a year for St. Louis this year, J.D.
Yeah, 13 out of 14 in saves, an ERA below a run, 2-0 record in 23 appearances. The league batting just 163 against the hard-throwing Jason Isringhausen. 27 and a third innings, just 15 hits allowed. He has not yet given up a long ball. He's walked 8 and struck out 32. Those numbers are all-star caliber.
Now let's go to Greg Lucas on the field.
Well, you gave all the bad stuff, Isringhausen's numbers. How about a positive note? On this date, May 27th, the Astros have rallied in the last inning to win 3 times. James Mouton's home run in the bottom of the 10th beat the Braves in 95. Glenn Davis's 2-run, 2-out homer in the 9th inning tied the game. Ramirez hit in the 12th, beat Pittsburgh. And in 69, Doug Rader did better than any a grand slam home run. I want to thank the Astros Daily site for that information. We're all pumped now. So now it's up to you guys to make sure it happens.
Way to go, Greg.
Jose Vizcaíno is pinch hitting for Morgan Ensberg, who was 0 for 3. Vizcaíno with a line drive to left field. Gets it started in the bottom of the 9th inning. Vizcaíno, as the starting shortstop last night, had 2 hits and 2 runs batted in the 7th and 8th innings, and now once again he proves to be a late inning guy.
Magic wand for Vizcaíno. Yeah, I wonder what he's hitting in the 7th inning on. It's got to be pretty darn good.
Well, recently we know it's great. Had that game-winning home run here. He's been right in the thick of the action. He's hit safely in his last 10 starts. Now he's the potential tying run. Here's another pinch hitter, Greg Zahn, batting for Brad Ausmus, who was 1 for 3. Cardinals station the third sacker, Polanco, in on the grass.
Isringhausen holding the ball there, trying to see if Zahn would tip his hand as to whether he was going to square around and bunt or not.
Zahn has 1 sacrifice bunt, 1 for 5 as a pinch hitter with an RBI. He's bunting, and it goes to the first base side. Tino Martinez with a throw to Vina. Nice sacrifice by Zahn, getting Vizcaíno to second for another pinch hitter, a 3rd in a row for Jimmy Williams. This will be Orlando Merced now.
Zahn might be the best bunter on this club.
Now Orlando Merced pinch hitting for Octavio Dotel at 275 with no homers and 3 runs batted in for 40 at-bats. As a pinch hitter is 5 for 22. Been troubled by a right hamstring strain. Great career numbers against Isringhausen. 6 for 14 with 2 homers. There's strike 1 to Merced. Dotel in 1 inning allowed no hits, no runs, with 1 walk and 1 strikeout. Merced lays off. It's 1 ball, 1 strike. Only 1 blown save for Isringhausen. He's 13 of 14.
Shadows could be an issue for the hitters. Get a pretty good peek at it right there.
Rip foul.
I think he saw that one pretty well. That was a bullet.
One ball and 2 strikes to Orlando Merced, who set a pinch hit club record for runs batted in a season last year. He's a .307 career hitter against the Cardinals. 2 for 4 against St. Louis this season. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Cardinal bullpen as a whole with 15 saves, 3rd in the league. Gene Steckschulte could be the winning pitcher of this game. It's 3-2 now with Julio Lugo on deck. Isringhausen has saves in 9 of his last 10 outings. He has 10 saves this month to lead the National League.
Oh, man, did he make a pitch.
Ooh, that's ball 4, and Dave Duncan is really hot.
What? To have the confidence to throw that curveball on 3-2 like he did when the hitter's got to be ready to hit the fastball. And to snap off this curveball, I mean, there's no way Merced is going to hit that pitch. And Duncan thought he had a strikeout.
Pinch runner at first, and Duncan does the 360. Brian Hunter takes over at first base for Orlando Merced. Jimmy Williams has used 3 consecutive pinch hitters, now a pinch runner, and he has Julio Lugo batting with 1 out and runners at first and second. Lugo 2 for 4. It's his 5th straight 2-hit game.
Ooh, a little over anxious. For the first time this afternoon, this crowd finally making some noise. It's been a very quiet day at the ballpark.
Yes, it has. Isringhausen has never had 10 saves in 1 month until this month in his career. 3rd among National League relievers in ERA with that 0.99. Roll to first base. Martinez will get Lugo. Runners moving to second and third on out number 2. Is Caino over to third and Hunter to second.
Oh, this is fun.
Craig Biggio.
He's had some big at-bats in the last few games. Clutch. Big time yesterday.
One for 3 in this game. Game-winning 2-run single in the 8th last night. Good success against Isringhausen in his career. 4 for 10. Tap foul for strike 1. Lance Berkman's on deck.
Isringhausen throws a fastball mid to high 90s, and he throws a little cutter that is not much off in terms of velocity, but just gets a little late movement, running away from the right-handed hitters.
Jason has not given up a run in his last 12 1/3 innings, covering 11 games. Biggio chops it to third. Polanco with the throw to first. And that does it. Biggio going in head first, but the Cardinals win it. Isringhausen getting his 14th save. Tony La Russa's Redbirds now have drawn to 6.5 games in front of the Houston Astros, and they have beaten the Astros 8 times in 10 tries. They claim the opener of this series. Final score: St. Louis 4, Houston 3. Today's Houston Astros baseball game on Fox Sports Net is being brought to you by Bud Light, by your Texas Ford dealers, by Southwestern Bell, by Pennzoil, by Brake Check, and by Miller Lite. The Astros go to 1-3 on this homestand. They've now dropped 7 of their last 8. It was a hard-fought game today. St. Louis 4, Houston 3. The Astros now 3-10 in 1-run games. And the Cardinals continue to play very well in the tight ball games. And they now go to 29-22. They won 15 of their last 18. JD, they got the lead with 3 in the 8th inning with a big 2-run homer by Tino Martinez, giving them breathing room. Then they survived the Lance Berkman 2-run homer and a real Astros threat in the 9th inning.
Yeah, it's kind of been the story of the season series so far between these two clubs. Very close games, but the Cardinals obviously having the best of it. 5 times now they've beaten the Astros by 1 run in the 10 ball games that they have played.
As a result, the Cardinals now open up more room between themselves and the Astros. 6.5 games, and they are 15-3 since the 8th of May. That's the best record in the major leagues. They show you why as you watch this Cardinal club, because they can protect the lead with that great bullpen of theirs.
Yeah, and I think really one of the side stories in this ball game this afternoon, the fact that Matheny was behind the plate for the Cardinals and the fact that he throws so well, really The Astros didn't start any base runners, and you know, consequently they grounded into 3 double plays. They didn't put any running plays on late in the game. They just, you know, sacrificed there in the bottom of the 9th. But you could get a sense that there are situations where you might try to turn it loose and start to run, but they did not. This coming in the first inning, the pickoff double play with Lugo on first base, and then later on it was Ensberg bouncing into the 5-4-3 double play. And we had the theme going, didn't we? Back to Kyle. He starts a 1-4-3 double play. And one more time for you, back to DK. Perfectly positioned, squares the home plate with his delivery. And Vigna finishes yet another double play.
Yeah, they won on Ensberg. First and third, 1 out in the 4th inning. One of the key plays in this game. And the Cardinals just got the key outs when they needed them. They were out hit by Houston 10-9. Gene Steckschulte with the win goes to 6-1. Roy Oswalt, the loser, 5-3. Jason Isringhausen gets save number 14. Cardinals take it 4-3. We'll be right back. This 4-3 Cardinal win. Gene Steckschulte now goes to 6-1, and the Cardinal bullpen is 14-7. Jason Isringhausen picks up his 14th save. He's only blown 1 all season, although it did get interesting there in the 9th inning. He got Lugo and Biggio when he needed those final 2 outs. They're still dining out at Ruggles. The Astros fans a little disappointed today. It was a 1-1 ball game going to the 8th, and then the Cardinals put the big 3 spot on the board. Jim Edmonds with a sacrifice fly, giving his club the go-ahead run, and then Tino Martinez with home run number 6 of the year made it a 4-1 lead, with the Astros coming back to get the 2-run homer from Berkman, his 2nd of the game, but falling just short by a run. Final score 4-3. For Jim Deshaies, Greg Lucas, and our entire production team, Bill Brown saying so long from Astros Field. Final score today, Cardinals 4, Astros 3. Our next Fox Sports Net Astros game is tomorrow night. Pre-game show at 6:30 for the Astros and the Cardinals. It's a rematch of last week. It's Shane Reynolds and Matt Morris. Keep it right here. Coming up next is Southwest Sports Tonight. You've been watching Houston Astros baseball on Fox Sports Net.